but
I did some.
Me too.
I invited
Anything...
Pierce Morgan, but I don't think he's going to show up.
Pierce Morgan.
Yeah.
It's kinda,
you should have called his mother a whore.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yep. He's very combative.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm just masking the fact that I'm not sure who that is.
He's one of the dirty Brits.
Oh.
He's the guy that got punched in the face by Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh.
He's the one that Ben Shapiro called out and said that he was going to parade fucking gunshot victim children, and how he was fucking grandstanding from the graves of dead children from Sandy Hook.
Oh.
I'm sure you've seen that video of Ben Shapiro.
Have you ever seen the British television show Top Gear?
Yes.
Okay, so the older guy who's because the cars, that's Jeremy Clarkson, and he's punched Pierce Morgan in the face.
Which is why the guys from Top Gear now. What's their name? What's their new show?
Around the World Tour, something like that.
Yeah.
I can open Netflix to find out exactly what that is. Whose cat is that?
Mine.
Okay. So
she's not even in here. She's just sitting outside the fucking door crying.
Huh.
Anyway, so we're gonna go with this.
Hold on, I did want to touch upon something. Apparently, PewDiePie's last video cited Sargon and somebody else in Kraut T as context for their fucking video, which is just kind of crazy. Now that PewDiePie is fucking citing the anti-SJW groups,
right?
So that might include a new infusion into the I'm gonna air quote the shit out of this again, community.
Right.
Well, I think everybody watches everybody, honestly, particularly in these groups, and I think a lot of the popular YouTubers make a point, particularly the ones that see it as their job to watch everybody else. It wouldn't surprise me if the crazy people that, or not, I guess less crazy people that like do cooking shows or something like that. They probably watch a lot of this stuff as well, if for no other reason than because, well, other people are watching it. What are they doing? And I mean, people that do TV shows do the same thing. They're like, I think that this show is Drek, but apparently people watch it in this time slot. So maybe I can pull their users by emulating something.
Well, I would personally like to see how much of Kraut T's or Sargon's videos PewDiePie actually got around to watching, because there's a lot, and he does none of that subject matter. But again, now is apparently the age of awakening, the age of Aquarius.
Yes, I think their whole takedown of PewDiePie was because he was big, and he's not unfriendly to people on the anti-SJW side. So they basically were doing it as like a preemptive takedown. Like they're going to destroy him because he's so big, and he hasn't been pushing how great feminism is. He said some negative things about some of the YouTube heroes and stuff like that. So I think they were trying to preemptively take him down. They didn't realize that he's too big to be taken down by the likes of them.
But that literally made him choose sides.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They didn't realize he's too big for them to take down. They tried to take him down like 8 years ago.
No, he already chose sides though. When he did that thing about how you can get crazy people to say on the fascist things on the internet by giving them $5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That effectively takes, because what you're doing is you're mocking people that take that stuff seriously as something to actually get upset about. And if your whole animus is getting upset about shit like that, then that's an existential threat. I mean, you have to defend your ability to freak out over stupid shit.
That's true. That's true.
They have to. So he was attacking that, and that means he chose sides. He fired the first shot from their perspective.
Yeah, from their perspective, but from mine, he didn't really choose sides. But they're like, well, he said negative things, and he's mocked some of the things that we stand for. So
I thought he paid other people to say negative things.
Mm-hmm. Precisely.
Yeah, he was paying them to say things like the guy that dresses up like Jesus to say that Hitler did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Hi, I'm Jesus, and I just want to let you know Hitler didn't do anything wrong."
What was the point? Why did he do that? I mean, I know the answer.
It's fucking funny.
No. He was trying to diminish the value. He was basically trying to say the internet is full of memes.
It is
what he was trying to say.
Well, yeah, I'm saying. Well, I think,
SPWs can't handle that.
Well, yeah, I'm saying they're saying he picked sides, but he didn't pick sides.
Yeah.
He's just said negative things about some of the shit that they push.
They need all meme Nazis to be the literal reincarnation of Adolf Hitler.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was making fun of them. He was making jokes. Plus, anti-Semitic jokes have been on the internet since like the first. That's probably the first thing ever shared on the internet.
Yeah.
Like when the government was testing out the internet, that was probably what they were sending to each other. That's how fucking old anti-Jew jokes are on the internet.
No, it was probably fucking Dungeons and Dragons shit or something. Just like, my elf, so hard right now.
Yeah, I can see that. I actually remember listening to this whole thing about what was the first few messages sent on the internet, and now, but I forgot what it is. That makes me sad.
They're anti-Semitic jokes. I'm telling you.
All listen and believe.
Exactly.
I've heard that's the thing to do.
It is. All right, so let's jump into NBC News here. I shared the link in the whatever you call it, the stream chat. Employees across U.S. fired after joining Day Without Immigrants protest. Fucking love it. That's how important. Like they wanted to take a day off of work to prove how important they were, and they got fucking fired. Apparently, you're not as important as you fucking thought. Just gonna throw that out there. Dozens of protesters across the country were fired from their jobs after skipping work to take part in last week's Day Without Immigrants demonstration. Restaurants and daycares were among the businesses in the states like Florida, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and New York, where bosses fired workers after they didn't show up for work in order to protest. In Nolensville, Tennessee, nearly 20 employees at Bradley's Coating Incorporated, a commercial painting company, were laid off after participating in the nationwide strike on Thursday. That's fucking great. 20 people. That's a lot of people, though. Like for a painting company, that's like most of their employee base right there.
Are just not the refugees, I guess. Are just immigrants taking the day off of work?
Well, so here's the thing: is Trump's like, we need to do something about these illegal immigrants. So the leftists boiled it down to he hates all immigrants because he's a racist and he wants a white ethno-state. So then they're like, oh, well, the immigrants should protest how he hates all immigrants, and we'll have a day to show the country how important immigrants are to the economy. It didn't work out the way they thought.
Well, no. See, here's the thing: is that actually they're distracting from the real bombshell right there. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make this, oh, look at these assholes that fired people, right? That's what they're trying to make this.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to, but that shit doesn't work on us.
The real story is, you know how your life was disrupted on that day?
It wasn't.
Oh, you know how, like, you couldn't get a taco? You couldn't get a burrito? It just didn't happen? Like, it just wasn't possible? Because the Mexicans withheld burrito technology?
I literally had burritos that day. Actually, I just did the math, and I was like, "Yep, that's."
I literally make personally better burritos than the Mexicans do out of raw materials. I fucking make my own tortillas. I don't fucking. I'm Californian. I don't care. Yeah, but anyway, point is.
Oh, look who finally decided to join us.
I know, right?
Yeah,
did
no,
the
but
Day
anyway.
Without Women happen already? I didn't notice.
That would be the greatest day ever. God,
no,
could you
that was the
it's just like vacation
protest.
for men. That's what you would call that.
I sent
vacation
it to you. This is where they're stealing the Day Without Immigrants from. It was supposed to be a Day Without Women.
Well, they made a movie. Was it A Day Without Mexicans? And like all the white people, were like, oh my god, where's my maid? Where's my gardener? And like people.
Well, that was the awesome line
from
Mrs. Osborne. Remember that was that amazing line. She was on The View, and she's like, "Well, who's going to clean your toilet?"
I know, right? Like,
that was so
I clean my own toilet. We're not all fucking millionaires.
No, but it also betrayed that her
her
notion of those people was they who clean the toilets.
Yeah,
there was a study like 6-7 years ago, or no, it was during Bush, so it had to be longer than that. It had to be like 10 years ago now. But they were asking the people who were pro-immigration these things. They're like, oh, well, it's like my maid, it's my child care provider, my gardener, like the pool cleaner, like the guy who washes my cars. Like, so you basically use them, and you're like, the prices of things would go up, so let's fuck other Americans because I don't want to pay more money. That was basically what the response was of everybody that they talked to about it.
Yeah.
Who was for allowing
And
illegal
do
immigrants.
you know the really sad thing about this whole thing is, you know how they're always like, they take the jobs that regular Americans don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No one actually evaluates that one. So you know how back in the day, Americans.
It's kind of true. I will
No,
give
it's
them
not.
that. No,
No,
I'm
it's
saying we should decrease the benefits that we give people and increase the
No.
the need for a job, because I mean,
No.
in California, I lived in California. There's a lot of the fruit pickers, and I went out and
Right.
did that for a little while. A lot of people were like, "I'm gonna sit at home on get fucking unemployment benefits rather than take that job." Like I've met people who are like that.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, there's plenty of people who will do the
you know
job.
how back in the day, people used to be able to have a house and send their kids, set their kids up well in the world with like a paperboy job. Remember how that was the thing you used to be able to do? Remember how you used to be able to mow Mrs. Crabapple's lawn, and you could just like afford like a whole family on mowing Mrs. Crabapple's lawn.
I got like 3 cows from mowing lawns for a summer.
Yeah,
because farmers pay in animals.
Yeah, no, but the point is that here's the sick thing is that illegal immigrants, by and large, who they're taking the jobs from, who they took the jobs from, was children and teenagers.
Yep.
Yeah, but children and teenagers.
Yeah, but that pushed them into other jobs, which is the low income jobs, like the low skill
or
jobs.
nothing. Or nothing, or
and nothing.
Well, I mean, or getting baked on marijuana.
Look at all the protesters who have no job. Because here's the thing: you had a bunch of immigrants who had jobs. They went out and protested, and a bunch of people got fired. So why is it this whole year of election campaign you weren't hearing about all these massive groups of people getting fired? Because they didn't have any fucking jobs to lose.
Right.
They just convinced people who actually did have jobs to go protest with them, and now they're all unemployed.
Well, I mean, so like for example, I've been to Iceland, and Iceland's it's kind of a interesting place because you'll see tall blonde women mopping floors, tall blonde women making sandwiches at a sandwich shop, tall blonde women making beds. Tall blonde women are everywhere, and they do everything.
Well, you know what they say about blonde girls.
They just want to have fun.
They mop the shit out of that floor is what they do.
I was listening to Sam Harris today, and I'm trying to understand both sides. Okay, I don't want to be in.
What side is Sam Harris on?
He's very
apparently the anti-Trump side.
Very, very anti-Trump.
Yes, he's anti-Trump, but he's not on the feminist side.
No,
by a long shot. He's not the pro-Muslim side.
Is he MGTOW or something crazy?
So I was saying, what side is it you think he's on?
Well, just the one that's not kissing Trump's ass.
I'm just saying you're name dropping. Well, I don't kiss Trump's ass.
Yeah.
I mean,
you've yet to be critical.
Most of the world doesn't kiss.
How so? I've said I don't care about the bad things that he does. That's not being critical. That's not caring. It's not ass kissing. It's saying I don't really care. He made General Mattis the fucking Secretary of Defense, so I'm pretty content.
Do you guys remember what happened with the Hindus and Trump? Remember that story?
No.
That old man called Trump out and said our son died for your country and you're treating us.
No, that wasn't a Hindu.
And then Trump tweeted
that wasn't Hindu. That was
no. All right. So you guys know the story. All right. So you know how they've got a pantheon, right? Like it's not like one god; it's like a whole bunch of gods.
Yeah.
So
like a million of them.
They've got a god called
I know the story.
Shiva. You see now.
Yes.
They've got a god called Shiva, who is basically a god
destroyer.
of death and destruction. And so there's a bunch of Hindus that are worshiping Trump as a living avatar of the goddess Shiva. And that's more or less how I see Trump. I just see him as just sort of an agent of destruction. And some people might look at that and they might go, that's bad. But the thing is no.
I think that's great.
There's a lot of things I want to blow up. And so
it depends what he's destroying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is he indiscriminately destroying everything, or is he destroying specific
No, their frustration with him is that he doesn't do things by the status quo. Like he's unpredictable. They don't know what he's gonna do. Like that's the only thing that they can say. The only actual legitimate arguments, and I already brought this up and you answered it, Will, but the tax returns and how he hasn't brought those out, and this whole how much he's spending, And like this thing with Russia is apparently very, very real. And I still just don't care. Like I hear their arguments and yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm with you, Trigger. Like I don't care, even if they're right.
Well,
remember
the
how
thing is, he has no obligation to put
Democrats
out
historically
his tax returns. They're not important. They're
Well,
not
it's saying it's
necessary
by
for
law.
anything.
Well, but the guy even said
There
in
is
it,
no
so he
law
was
for that.
apparently
It isn't.
it's oh, okay.
It
Well, I
isn't.
don't know.
It's just something that presidents have done. There is no obligation or requirement.
The guy who was talking with him was Bush's speechwriter, so he's like this uber conservative guy, but apparently not because he was kind of not critical of Obamacare and then he got fired from the American enterprise because of that or something.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, there's civil wars going on both within the Democratic Party and the Republican Party.
I thought it was
think
a purge
so.
in the Democrat Party. I thought they were trying to get rid of all the white people.
No. Actually, there's also one going on within the Libertarian Party. I'm not sure about the Greens.
Wait, the Libertarians have a party?
Yeah, it's an actual party down here.
I thought they wanted
I know, but yeah. So Gary Johnson is they're not super pleased with him.
Well, I couldn't imagine why.
Well, he's climbed 5 mountains. I can't.
Are any of them
I don't know what is it. Are you talking literal mountains? Like what are we talking about here?
Oh yeah, that was one of the reasons he gave for why he should be president, was that he climbed 5 mountains.
I've climbed more than that. Should I be president?
I think he said like one on every continent in the world or something. Like it was like some sort of bucket list thing, and it was like
I don't remember seeing any mountains in Australia. I think he's lying.
That may have been a response to Trump calling everybody low energy. So he had to be like, well, guys, I climbed 5 mountains.
But what is Aleppo?
Yeah, exactly. No, they had better options actually, and it was really sad that Gary took the nomination.
Anyways, the reason I originally brought up Sam Harris because you guys were talking about work, and a lot of people keep bringing up this argument that a lot of the cause of unemployment in America has to do with like the advancement of technology. And how those
nowhere
are,
near
like,
as much as they
manufacturing
like to pretend.
Well, wait a minute.
But then why is government not like doing anything about it or not planning? Like technology is only going to start taking more jobs, and it seems like
here's
no
the
one
thing,
in
right?
government
Okay,
gives a shit about this.
This little history lesson. The Great Depression, there was a lot of different factors, but one of the ones that is a contributing factor was the advancement of farming technology, right? So a farm went from having to have a bunch of slaves, right, which they didn't have, so they had a bunch of low-wage workers that worked the farm to produce the food. Then technology started to come out where less and less people. Like today, honestly, you don't need like a 180-acre farm. One person can farm that today with the equipment, right? Before, you had to have a bunch of people out there manning the farm, right? So that was at the beginning of the Great Depression, and it was government policy and government intervention that really crashed the whole economy. Had the government not been so involved in trying to fix the problem, it wouldn't have gotten so bad.
Have you guys seen the UCLA study on that? Actually, I'll link that. I think you guys probably like that.
But I mean, there was a lot of other factors. You had the Dust Bowl and a fucking locust fucking plague, stock market crash, run on the banks. Like there's a whole bunch of things that were going on, but it wouldn't have been nearly as bad if the government hadn't been as involved as it was. They were making policies, making companies like basically they were putting these rules and had company. I can't remember what they called it, but they brought these major companies together and then basically put these rules on them and said you're not allowed to do any of this shit. To try to fucking manage the market, and then it caused.
Well, have you seen the nonsense going on in Venezuela?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically that's almost literally what FDR was doing. He was dictating what prices were. So, like for one thing, do you know the origin of employer provided healthcare in the United States? It came from the Great Depression, because FDR dictated that an employer could not pay you more to attract you to work at his place. So what a lot of employers started doing is they're like, okay, FDR says I can't pay you more, but I'm going to give you free healthcare. And so
that's what I said. Like the free market is good because you have to compete with other companies for workers. Problem is with large influxes of immigrants, like we were talking about, legal and illegal. As I did that little video earlier, is about an illegal immigrant working in a construction job.
Yeah, but
No, what I'm saying is there's more people out there to do the job, and an immigrant who's coming from a poor place, who's lived like a very, basic life. He doesn't have the need for TV, internet. He doesn't want the nice car. He just wants a beater, an apartment with 20 people in there. They're going to take less wages, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you're importing mass numbers of these people, and it's making it a employer's market, which isn't good.
Are you familiar with the H-1B visa thing? Or
yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Sorry, go ahead.
What's going on with that?
No, they are, yeah.
What's going on with that is that there are native workers doing a job, and in fact, the workers that they import can't actually do the job. And what they'll do is they'll import these people, and then they'll force the Americans that know how to do the job to train their foreign replacements, and then they'll fire the Americans, and then they can treat the H-1B visa guys like shit, because the way it works
pseudo slaves.
Pretty much, because if the company fires them, they get deported. So they basically become bonded to that company as a term of their visa status.
Yep. So they're locked, and so instead of a free market, they are locked into their job.
Yep.
So if they fuck up and they don't do whatever horrible shit the boss might ask of them, they can't just quit. And if they get fired, they get deported.
Yeah, I don't think this is good for the immigrants or the people who are already here.
That's my point. I'm saying that's
Wait a minute.
When you talk about immigration reform, and they're like, oh, well, you're a racist. Like, that's not racism. Like when Trump was talking about the rapes at the border, like I've seen some fucked up shit going on at the border, the illegal fucking crossings, and the Border Patrol's like, yeah, we're overwhelmed with this. Like by the time we get to you, they're fucking gone. It's like you find fucking dead bodies. They're like, if you come across one of them and they pull a gun, shoot them fucking dead. Throw them over the property fence and don't call us. We don't even care.
Did you know that poverty
that's how bad it is on the border.
Higher than in Iran and in most countries? Poverty in Mexico is higher than most underdeveloped countries. It's higher than it is in
NAFTA.
Iran.
That's NAFTA. It's fucking everybody except for rich people.
No, it's not NAFTA, because it was like that before NAFTA. It's corruption. It's really
it was on its way up. When NAFTA came in, it started going back down. It was never in a good place, but they sold it as it was going to make everything better for all the countries involved. Canada hasn't been completely fucked over like we have, but if you've ever tried to cross the border at 4 a.m, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's tens of thousands at every border crossing who have the work visas, like the day work visas and shit like that.
Yeah,
that come up here, they make money, and then they take it back down to Mexico. But I've been stuck in Mexico and had to fucking hide out for a couple hours because there's a fucking firefight between the Mexican military and the cartels right there on the border, because the cartels fucking assassinated some local politician or some shit like that. Man, shit's not nice there. I don't want that here, right? I don't want it there, but if I have a choice between it being there or here, I'm going to pick there. That's just me.
And I mean, one could argue that the fact that if they're always thinking that they'll just escape and go somewhere else, it'll never put the pressure to actually, fix these problems.
No, yeah, they won't. And that's one of the things is Mexico actually gives out pamphlets to the other central, immigrants and the South American immigrants that are passing through. They'll give them an easement period, but they give them pamphlets about what not to do when crossing the American border, as don't do this because it's illegal to cross this border, and then it spells out how to cross the border illegally into the United States.
Yeah, have you guys actually seen that PDF?
No.
I've seen the pamphlet for reals.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. This isn't some internet meme somebody created. That's a real fucking thing. I fucking held it in my hand. It's a tangible, real thing.
Yeah. No. It's printed by the Mexican State Department, and it tells Mexicans how to violate U.S. immigration law. And it's got cartoons and stuff and everything.
Is that the one with the flying children?
Flying children?
And it looked like so the family was running and like the logo.
Oh no,
logo
those
on
are the
the back
signs
was,
you
like,
see in
flying.
like Southern California, Arizona, South Texas. It's the warning sign to let you know that there might be illegals crossing the freeway, so you have to be vigilant so you don't run them over.
Yeah, I just posted the link to the. That's what the cover of it looks like.
It's good times all around.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
No, I mean what it is it demonstrates sort of a casual contempt, and it means like so whenever the Mexicans will sit there and they'll act the wounded dove to you, you have to understand exactly how cynical they're being. They
Well,
think
that's because they know
stupid.
they can play us. That so they will.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't you? I would if I was in the same position. I don't hold it against them. I was like, but we're allowing them to play the emotion card on us, even when it's not true. They know what kind of narrative to push to make you feel bad for them, so they can get what they want. It's like they're just manipulating you.
Yeah.
But who isn't?
Well, not everybody's a manipulator. But your default should be to assume they are.
And it is.
That's what I was watching some fucking dude from a libertarian think tank going on. I can't remember what show it was. Oh, with Tucker Carlson's show.
Okay.
Fucking annoyed the piss out of me because he's talking about how immigration was so good, and he's like, yeah, when the immigrants come in, they're also consumers, so they're not just coming in and taking jobs, they're also consuming products, so that they boost the economy. It's like, okay, I've lived in neighborhoods with a bunch of like immigrants, right? Legal and illegal. It was mixed. That was just like where the cheap rent was, which is why they were all there in the first place. They don't go out and buy shit. They're not going out and buying lots of stuff. They're not being consumers for the market that they're taking up.
They're not stimulating a vibrant economy?
Nope.
What? I thought that's what Mexico had.
That was the libertarians' view, though.
Wait a minute. But wait, Mexico's full of Mexicans, and they're all consumers in Mexico, right? So by this logic, they should be the most stimulated because they have the most Mexicans.
Right.
But it can't be stimulating Mexico if they're in America.
Actually, no. The reason they're not buying a bunch of shit here in the American economy is because they're sending the money back to Mexico.
Well,
I've seen houses with like 20+ dudes living in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what those sleeping arrangements were in there, but what they're doing is they're working jobs under the table, obviously, and then sending large portions of their income back to their families that are still in Mexico. Billions of US dollars go into Mexico that way every year.
Yeah, no, I mean it's all basically fraud.
And the day workers, you have a day worker visa, so they can come over, work a job in the United States, and then go back to Mexico. Clearly, all of their money is going into the Mexican economy, right? And like save buying lunch and gas if they even do that on this side of the border, because gas is cheaper down there.
Well, right now, I think it isn't. They're freaking out. They've got some sort of a gas crisis in northern Mexico. That's
well, the cartels would come across. I worked in the oil field. They'd come across and they'd hijack the fucking oil trucks from the refineries, and then they'd fucking take them down there and then sell them back to the U.S. market. They're probably doing that down there too.
Nice.
This does not sound like a stable economy.
It's not.
No,
that's my complaint.
I base all of my economic recommendations on what the Mexicans did. What?
Sorry, I'm just gonna ask for that list. What do they do?
You really want to know?
Well, basically, they've got a very classist society. It's actually ironic because they sit there and they talk about the plight of the poor and so forth, but Mexico has an extremely classist society.
Yeah,
and
collectivist cultures generally are.
Well, yeah. So there's and they're hereditary. So wait, do you guys know what's going on with the hereditary teachers?
No, tell us.
No.
Oh yeah. So if you're a teacher in Mexico, you can will your teaching job to your children.
Hell yeah.
What? Or you can sell it to somebody. Like you can just put it up on eBay.
That is fucking nepotism.
Want to be a teacher? Want to be a teacher? Give me $100. I will sell you my teacher job.
That is amazing.
I'm going to Mexico to be a teacher. All right.
Huh?
I'm going to teach English, obviously.
Right. So there was a reform in Mexico to change that. And of course, all the teachers' unions in Mexico protested, saying, this is our hereditary birthright to be teachers. What?
Right.
Because
Nothing wrong with that.
intelligence is
That explains
hereditary.
the amount of poverty because
Wait,
like nepotism and.
Siggy, is there proof of this? Is intelligence hereditary? Because I think I think it was Joe Rogan earlier today said while interviewing oh fuck, what's the guy's name? The astrophysicist, that intelligence is hereditary.
It's quite hereditary actually, but it is something that could be grown and developed. It's not a stagnant thing.
You can't really say it's hereditary because they can't prove it's hereditary.
There's proof.
No, they're
There were studies that show that.
You're at the nature versus nurture argument.
Wait a minute.
And there's nothing definitive.
Well, there's twin studies that show.
No.
That's how they get past the nature versus.
Because there's just so many twins.
No.
They're so definitive.
Excuse me. We've all met a stupid family before, right?
Yes.
Like where everybody in that family is just stupid.
Yeah, but you don't know if that's what triggers thing. You don't know if that's the environment or genetic.
Right. I mean, if you're surrounded by stupid people, you're
probably going to be stupid.
I know. Thank you.
No, what I was gonna say is like there are like families that have that one smart kid and everyone else is like a bunch of inbred hillbillies.
Sure.
But they could have still had like good role models in the school that their siblings didn't get.
Look, obviously, look, it's not 100% one way or the other, but that's the same. It's the truth with any other phenotype.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, like for example, if you're the child of Usain Bolt or whatever, the guy that won the Olympics for sprinting and whatever his fucking name is. Okay, thing is,
it's Usain, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the man with amazing legs. Okay.
No, I'm saying don't listen to Loki. He's wrong all the time.
Okay, the point is that guy. His kids are going to just be predisposed to be a little bit quicker.
Unless he marries a hobbit.
Average population. And I don't fucking care what the nurture
hobbit, and then the genetics gets poo-pooed on.
That's true. That's actually that's a problem. If you're a smart guy, you make a load of money, and you marry a trophy wife who is absolutely fuck-witted,
then you're not that smart to begin with.
Well, I mean, the blowjobs were amazing. But the thing is that you fucked your kids, is what you did. By fucking that woman.
She might teach them that the crystals have healing properties and that they can invest the stock market based on tarot cards.
Or that cherry bubble gum is the best bubble gum.
That too.
Is that even a thing?
It's not anymore. Not since the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Now it's ice flavored bubble gum. Taste the freshness.
Well, I'm saying it's a general split between the two, not one or the other. Yeah. Not nature, not nurture. It's a combination of the two. Yeah. And if your nature is on the lower end, I think you can compensate that with proper environment.
Sure.
Right, but what are the chances that if you're born into the naturally dumb family that you'll be like maybe you'll happen to be exposed, but the chances of that are really low. So it kind of creates this endless cycle.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's
stupidity.
It's not very likely, but that's why I am pro-adoption.
No, okay, all right. It's like if you're born into
IQ test for adoption. That's all I'm saying.
No, look.
Adopt the smartest children first?
No. Only smart people can adopt.
Oh.
An IQ test for you to be eligible to adopt children.
It's pretty hard to adopt. They should make it harder to have babies, not adopt babies.
Yeah, harder to have babies.
Guys, we're not going there. I've been saying this for years. Mandated fucking testing for them to unsterilize you. The government should create birthing licenses. I've been saying this for years, and I'm still going to push it. Birthing licenses.
You realize there's just going to be 5 people left eventually, right?
Yeah.
But at least they'll be the smartest, prettiest, most athletic people we'll ever see, and we'll send them off to Mars.
And then they'll get old and die, and they'll be ended in the race.
You know, if you actually went out and publicly advocated for that, they'd shout you down as a racist, and they'd kind of be right.
What?
No,
that depends on.
That's kind of a racist statement.
It actually isn't, because the average IQ in blacks in North America is at like 90%, whereas whites are 90, and with whites it's like at 100.
Well, I mean, if they get offended by that, then what does that say?
Please stop saying 90. 90 is what the fucking bonobo registers at.
It's 89.
It is not. 90 is what the fucking bonobo registers at.
I don't care, but nevertheless, in Africa, the average IQ is actually 79. So,
okay,
the monkeys are obviously the smartest ones in Africa.
Well, yeah, but IQ tests are not actually very useful. I mean,
I know they're racist. I remember.
No,
No,
but like
no,
it
no, no, no.
depends on
That's
the
not part of
IQ
racist,
test. That's the thing. Measures of intelligence are also very complicated.
Look, just as I said that obviously nature is very relevant. The thing is that the IQ test is measuring the product of both nature and nurture.
Not
And
necessarily.
yeah, it is.
How
Yeah,
else
it
would
is.
how would it not?
There's no.
Maybe if you've never been taught math, but you're just naturally smart and can figure things out on yourself.
No,
and
IQ tests are not about math.
So okay, so find me some fucking 20-year-olds who've never been taught math, and we'll test this theory.
No. Okay,
No, but
so
that's what I'm saying. Like they could be smart in other ways. Maybe they're witty. Maybe they're creative.
I'm saying
maybe
It's
the
not based
IQ
on
test
math.
that exists, the IQ test that exists, right?
it's not based on
You're
math.
testing both, no matter what, unless you're somehow testing an infant who can't read or write and has never been taught anything, which isn't happening.
What is the IQ test based on?
Well, nowadays there's like 50 of them.
No.
So.
Okay, the original IQ test was designed to detect retards and quantum. No, I'm not kidding. It was literally.
I know. I watched a documentary on this.
No. The point of it was like, okay, so you're stupid. How stupid are you? That was basically the point of it, and it wasn't designed to do like comparative analysis between different countries. It was within a given country, given community. Like, okay, so we've got Jeff over here who's a little slow, and we've got Dave who we think is normal. Let's compare the two of them, right? And that was the idea. And so it doesn't work well when you're comparing cultures to the same test.
Yeah.
It's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Well.
So is that it? We just find the dumbest people and base the test on them?
No, you test a bunch of people to get a baseline, and then people that fall below that are subnormal, and people that are above it are above average.
Normal curve. Every characteristic of humans are.
But
on
what does the
normal curve.
test consist of? Do they make you stack blocks?
It doesn't matter. It's just it has to test cognitive function. Whatever you feel is appropriate for that population.
Have you guys ever seen that video where they talk about how they taught crows, and like crows can watch people perform very intricate maneuvers to like stick sticks into holes to fucking trigger other levers to like release food. But like I know some people that will never be able to figure that shit out.
You guys ever hear of the crow vending machine?
Yeah, I don't see how.
Well, no, there's the crow vending machine. There. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Wall. People have been interrupting you, but I want you to tell the story.
Well, I'm sorry. Triggered. Am I interrupting you?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, crow vending machine. Basically, the idea was you put a bunch of peanuts around a machine with a little hole in it, and then there are some coins, and the crows will accidentally knock some coins into the machine. When they do that, the machine dispenses more peanuts, and ultimately what happens is the crows associate coins going to the hole with peanuts being given. And so then what you do is you make you put the coins farther away from the hole, so they're not just accidentally knocked in. The crow has to pick it up and put the coin in there. And the crows do that, and they watch each other do that, and the machine just keeps dispensing peanuts as coins are put in there. And then you stop putting coins out there. And then what happens is the crows will actually go out into the city, find coins, bring them to the vending machine, put them in the vending machine, and get nuts.
Yep. That's actually a story from Elephants on Acid for those of you who care about book club. But that's later.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's a crow vending machine.
Yeah. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what about it?
So he's saying animals can be smarter than humans at times.
No.
I think
some animals are pretty smart. That's all.
Some animals are smarter than some humans, not all humans.
Yes.
Well, I mean, head trauma.
I'm saying there's a lot of crossover going on at the lower end of the human spectrum.
Okay,
fetal alcohol syndrome happens. Yes,
humans are still animals, and animals are not human. But humans are still animals.
You could actually learn a lot about humans studying the animal kingdom. That's one of my favorite things about studying evolution.
Yeah.
It explains a lot about our behaviors.
Especially jellyfish.
I know, they live forever. How do they do it?
Just get inside of your inner jellyfish and just feel it.
Anyways, are we going to get to the articles?
Yes.
Sting the shit out of people.
This is the biggest sidetrack that we've ever had in this show.
It is.
You're welcome.
It's all Siggy's fault, actually.
Yeah, she came in not knowing what's happening.
Yeah, she came in and just started talking.
Fucking Sam
about
Harris.
Sam
doing
Harris.
Sam Harris that.
You guys are talking
IQ
about
IQ is genetic. Fuck, I swear. Fucking women. Anyways, so I just wanted to peruse this article a little bit because he's been replaced. Just for people who didn't know, Andrew Puzder. He was Trump's nominee for the Department of Labor, and apparently labor organized against him, was like, fuck no, this guy's like anti-union, and we know how the left has basically put in pro-union shills for the last 8 years. So they basically...
Well, no, the entire point of the Department of Labor is to do that. I mean, that remember,
Yeah, well, no,
it was originally
when Bush
created,
was
that
in,
the
it
whole
was
point of
more of the caring about the workers and not just fucking sucking the dick of the unions. But
Okay, so
over the last 8
who
years,
created the
it's
Department
become...
of Labor?
No, I'm not saying that's not what it's for. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
when Republicans are in, they take that pro-union stance kind of out of it. They kind of leech it away. But Obama was
To some extent,
really strong into putting it back
You
in
get the
there.
you get
So
the whole
now it's
deep
filled
state
of
thing.
people who don't want to listen.
You get the whole deep state thing, though. So even during the Republican administrations or whatever they feel, it just kind of it simmers and it gets subversive. But the organization itself is designed to do that, and it will.
All right, so Senate committee will begin hearings this week on the confirmation of Donald Trump's nominee for labor secretary. No, they won't, because he's been replaced. He withdrew himself after all this shit. Senator Elizabeth Warren issued a press release highlighting his opposition to minimum wage laws and other vital protections for workers and families, i.e. unions, and his company's prolific history of labor and discrimination suits. For people who don't know, he's like the CEO of the Carl's Jr. / Hardee's. Well, depending where you live, depends which one you have. It's the same fucking place. Like, it's even got the stupid gay star symbol. Just depending where you are, it has a different name.
I'm in Carl's Jr. territory.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hardee's is superior.
But Harvey's is the best.
No.
But the weird milkshakes. I've never understood the Carl's Jr. milkshake. It's got
I like
a weird flavor.
Steak and Shake. That's what y'all need out there. Steak and Shake.
It actually tastes like they just put like chocolate syrup into.
They do. That is literally what they do.
Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
Is it milk or is it like powdered milk?
No, it's chocolate syrup and ice cream. So
Yeah.
it's milkshake. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like straight up syrup that they put in there.
I mean,
it's not chocolate ice cream. They put syrup into it.
Put hamster into blender. What?
Yep. But the most damning criticism may be from the current and former employees of the department Puzder hopes to lead. Shortly after his nomination was announced in December, an internal petition opposing Puzder confirmation began circulating chain letter style among current and former Department of Labor staffers. One DOL staffer who spoke to Fast Company on a condition of anonymity says the petition originated in the office of the solicitor, where hundreds of lawyers work to enforce the nation's labor laws. The employees of the Labor Department are hardly the first to disagree with their potential new boss. Their methods might not work in every workplace, but here's how DOL employees have managed to take a stand without putting their livelihood in jeopardy. All right, so carefully managed dissent. Let's see. So they started the petition on January 31st, basically saying that they refuse to work for this guy. Demanding that he not be there. So it says, dear colleagues, as we imagine, many of you have also done. A number of us have recently been talking about how upset we are about President Trump's nominee to serve as Secretary of Labor, and we decided that there might just be something we can do about it in our capacity as private citizens. We believe that a carefully drafted and measured letter could potentially help to influence her vote. If Senator Collins were to vote against Mr. Puzder, assuming the Democratic members of the committee also vote against him, the administration would have no choice but of withdrawing the nomination or allowing it to go to the Senate floor with a negative recommendation from the committee. Faced with that prospect, the administration might well withdraw Mr. Puzder's nomination, which they did. So, the next one is the new guy. Apparently, he's more likable. No, anybody there? Y'all die?
Yeah.
That Tibetan guy who set himself on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put him as Secretary of Labor.
I would
you just show up on fire.
What I would do if I was Trump, right? And they're like, "Hey, we don't want this guy either." I would just dissolve the Department of Labor. See how they like that. You don't need a secretary. You're all fucking fired. Get out.
Yeah. Oh,
I so wish
annihilated by
they
irony.
made him in the White House a reality show. That'd be awesome to watch.
Trump was going to do that.
He actually said something about that.
Do you remember that in the stages of the election? He's like, yeah, we might turn this into a reality TV show where camera crews just follow him around. Didn't he start fucking Facebook's Trump TV?
I don't know.
Anyone remember that? They're like, yeah, Trump officially launched Trump TV on Facebook early on in the election. I think he was just getting ready to get knocked out of the fucking race. And he launched Trump TV, and he's like, I'm out. I'm not getting in. I'm not gonna get to continue this whole election thing. And then he won the nomination, and he's like, oh shit. Well, I guess I actually have to be the president.
Yeah, pretty much. So Trump taps Alexander Acosta for Department of Labor Secretary. Because the Acosta's nomination comes after Senate Republicans expressed concerns over whether Puzder would make it through confirmation hearings, and Puzder, the CEO of CKE Restaurants, announced Wednesday that he would withdraw from consideration. So basically, the conservatives, right, those Republicans who are not real Republicans, cow down and were like, oh no, we should totally do what these people who didn't vote for us want.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But they give such good head, dude. Come on.
You're talking about the Senate Republicans?
I'm talking about nonstop day and night blowjobs.
Yeah. I imagine that's a lot what it's like on Capitol Hill.
I mean,
at the pizza parlor.
Just can't say no.
Puzder will return to his executive role overseeing Hardee's and Carl's Jr., while Acosta will step into the position of awaiting confirmation. Puzder has drawn serious opposition from labor advocacy groups and from some senators like Elizabeth Warren. My default is I don't even have to look at somebody. If Elizabeth Warren is against them, I am pro them. That's just my stance.
So why are you anti-Native American?
He's not anti-Native American. They're anti him.
Exactly.
I mean, do you hate people with high cheekbones?
I didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me.
Oh, I see.
Wait, aren't you part air quote native?
Yeah.
Which parts?
South of the border. Anyways,
is there a distinguishing thing between Mexicans and the natives here?
Kind of, sort of.
What differences there?
A big one. We actually had empires, while the fucking the North American continent Native Americans were busy fucking living in teepees and wigwams. We were building fucking pyramids and empires. But we're not better or anything like that.
I mean,
all cultures are the same.
you say empires, but like literal blood-soaked ziggurats. Just saying.
I'm saying what? Name it. Like you have like the Cherokee Nation, but what is the Cherokee Nation compared to the Aztecs?
They didn't stack skulls as high, I guess.
The Aztecs did.
Yeah, the Aztecs.
But the Aztecs really had like structures that they built.
I know. I think they had the most advanced agriculture of their day. I mean,
they fucking invented corn. You're welcome.
What
did the Native Americans?
Corn maiden wasn't the corn maiden that invented?
No, they actually did. They were cross-pollinating. I can't remember what the fuck it was called, but it eventually became corn. So corn is the first ever genetically modified food.
That's not true.
Yeah, they did. They were crossbreeding it to something that they ended up being able to eat.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing with wheat, though.
No, wheat was the first. Wheat is interplanetary, way before corn or anything else.
Interplanetary?
Interplanetary.
Yep. Interdimensional.
Interdimensional.
Well, it's definitely within this dimension. It's definitely on this planet.
Space
we have wheat all over the goddamn planet. That's why beer was one of those recipes that was recorded. That was one of the very first recorded recipes all over the world.
Yeah.
What does wheat have to do with crossbreeding?
Oh, well, if you look at
genetic modification.
If you look at the original wheat, it's different.
It's like tiny.
Yeah, but
manageable.
Huh?
Yeah, but when?
Long time ago.
like 2,000 years ago or something like that.
Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Like basically as old as agriculture.
Yeah, corn was like created like 7,000 years ago. That's why I'm asking. So I say I don't know how old wheat is comparatively. So
well, okay. I mean, I'm just saying
as being modified.
Yeah, Mesopotamia is closer to Africa than South America. Sorry.
What does that do with anything?
It was inhabited by human beings sooner. Civilization got started sooner in Mesopotamia. Civilizations in Mesopotamia are older.
Don't see what that has to do with
agriculture got started sooner in Mesopotamia. The thing happened in Mesopotamia first, is what I'm saying.
The wheat.
Huge advantage. Huge advantage. I'm not saying it's because they're better. It's just they started sooner.
Well, they're definitely not better. Look at them today.
Well, but they were kings and shit, buddy. Come on.
Yeah. Apparently, they were all black.
Yeah.
That's a thing. It's a real thing.
No.
Anyways, Acosta is no stranger to presidential appointments and the subsequent confirmation process. Former President George W. Bush named Acosta the Assistant Attorney General for the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division in 2003, and the Florida lawyers' membership on the NLRB required confirmation. Acosta also served in the appointed role as U.S. Attorney for Florida's Southern District. He's a graduate of Harvard Law. His legal prestige includes a clerkship for Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito when he was a judge for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, according to Acosta's biography in the FIU Faculty Director. Yeah, so he hasn't been around long enough for them to take down yet.
Oh, they haven't caught.
But I'm sure they'll go after him because. Well, he probably isn't a part of one.
So, have you heard about the new Pizzagate theory?
No.
Or like thing?
No, I didn't hear about the new one.
Oh, the new one is they're saying that it's affiliated with this donut shop in Oregon called the Voodoo like donut hole or something.
Right. That sounds pretty gay.
It's just looks like a quirky Portland fucking donut shop. But anyway, people are talking about that like that's a thing. I put no credence in anything, but you know, passing the nonsense on.
Well, apparently Alex Jones is having another Pizzagate live stream right now. I kind of feel like going to watch that, but I clearly can't.
Wow,
great.
thank you.
Awesome endorsement.
Yeah.
I know, right? Fuck you all. I know, I feel like Alex Jones yells more than any of you guys, and that just speaks to me deep down inside.
No, I'm just being polite. You've heard me yell.
I have heard you yell for hours.
Why is
I
that
have
the
you yelling on
go-to
the
way
live stream.
of communication for you guys?
It's loud, it's big, it scares away bears.
Well, because I go over 9,000. What are you talking about? Super Saiyan, that shit.
Okay, so I honestly don't know what any of this stuff means. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know why he's in the Department of Labor Secretary. I don't know what the Department of Labor does.
Oh, their job is to advantage union labor in U.S. law, and that's what they do.
Advantage union labor?
Yes.
Those are all things I have.
They also are the ones that give all the labor statistics.
Their job is to advantage union labor. That is their job. They have a explicit union bias built into the organization at a foundational level, and that is what they do.
So the union pro people were protesting somebody who was going to be their secretary?
Their boss.
They don't like him.
It's like what happened with
here's the thing.
The EPA.
For some reason, you can't call a secretary in the workplace anymore on the civilian side, but the people who lead departments in the executive branch are called secretaries, but apparently secretary is sexist against women, so they're now executive assistants. I know, it makes no sense, right?
Lame.
I'd rather be called a secretary. That's just me, though.
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out why complaining about your boss can now get your boss removed.
Well, he wasn't their boss yet. They were saying that he shouldn't be their boss.
These organizations have an enormous amount of entitlement, and they don't really worry about getting fired. They don't think that they can. They survive from one administration to the next.
I see. That kind of makes me
Oh,
sad.
one of the other things that they were pointing out on Sam Harris's podcast is how long it's taking Trump to staff his like cabinet and how it's like falling behind and everything is going to be like a mess. And by now it should have been staffed and now things
He's
that
got
should
8 years. It's only been a few months.
Well, wait a minute, Sam. Is that because Trump didn't provide the names in a timely manner? Is that why, Sam?
I don't know.
Wait, Sam. Wait, come back. Don't run away. Come back here, you cowardly little piece of shit. Why isn't this happening, Sam? It's amazing you bring this up. Could it be because there's massive obstruction in Congress?
I literally just read two articles. I just read 2 articles about how, the guy who was appointed to it, they wouldn't fucking appoint him, so he had to withdraw, and someone else had to be put in. So you're criticizing him for something that other people are doing.
Uh-huh.
That's what Sam Harris is doing.
He's so incompetent.
How is he not?
He's getting opposed.
Every single position of the cabinet, Congress hasn't approved them.
He'd be so much more competent if the Democrats just said yes to everything. That would prove competence.
No, I'm saying his job is to appoint these people. It's their job to approve them. They're not approved. That's the Senate not confirming them. That has nothing to do with Trump himself. Okay. He's not doing anything about it. Right? He's not appointing people. He's waiting for Senate approval. Right?
Loki,
so
you listened to the Sam Harris podcast?
The one you posted, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, it was incredibly biased. It was incredibly misinformative, and there was a lot of fucking fear mongering and blaming Trump for random shit. Also, they kept fucking promoting what's his face, the Libertarian, Bernie Sanders. They kept saying Bernie Sanders would have been a much better candidate.
Okay, they only said that once,
Siggy.
and that was the very last thing.
Siggy, this is for you.
Say that once.
Dude, Secretary of Interior was announced December 15th. Secretary of Commerce was announced November 30th. Secretary of Agriculture, January 18th. Secretary of Labor, February 16th. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, December 5th. Secretary of Energy, December 14th. None of them have been confirmed yet. Okay. The Secretary of Labor is the one we just read about, right? So the positions that aren't filled is because they haven't been confirmed. These people most of them were nominated in November or December.
Do you know why this isn't just getting slammed through? Also, it's because Mitch McConnell is trying to preserve the filibuster rules and basically the old rules of the Senate, which they brought back online after they took control of the Senate. But what the Democrats are making very clear is that's apparently a mistake, and they should just be treated the same way that they treated the Republicans, which is, well, we've got one more vote than you, so you're my bitch.
Wait, what?
Yep, pretty much, yeah.
Which is pretty much what the Democrats did to the Republicans. They're like, oh, we have one more vote than you. Drop to your knees.
Yeah, I mean, he made this whole analogy of like, what if Hillary had won, and then there was found out that Russia had hacked this and they had done that, and I'm like, all of these things are true about her. Like, she did do sketchy things. She did do like, and then she had lots of business deals with Russia, and then you found out that her party was talking to Russia the entire time and
selling uranium to Russia.
No.
Come on,
y'all.
The things that the Democrats have done with Russia, and here's the thing is, they're trying to get that old Cold War sentiment where people are going to give more power to the federal government because of the big red scares. Like, but it's not there anymore. And the younger generation doesn't think it's there.
Which party colluded with the Soviet Union?
That would be the Democrats.
Oh, did Teddy Kennedy not send a letter to the Russians to ask them to help him defeat Ronald Reagan? And in return, he would give them, I don't know, dirty nookie later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dirty nookie. No,
but anyways, for all of his cabinet appointees, all of them, almost every single one of them were announced before he even swore into office. He had already appointed and announced it.
Slow.
So before he was even in the White House, the Senate already had the chance to mull over who it was that he was going to take those positions.
Yeah, and they all decided that they were going to make it take as long as possible. no matter what he said.
And they're trying to make him look bad by doing this shit. And Sam Harris doesn't like Trump, so he's
a lot.
He's biting the bait because he wants that bait.
Yeah, they just seem to not like him as a person. That's what it really comes down to with him and Bill Maher and Jon Stewart, all of them. Like, and they've had history not liking him, so they can't suddenly change their mind on it.
No.
Well, they wouldn't change. No, I'm saying they have a personal thing against him because he's an capitalist to begin with.
Tell me the Republican that Bill Maher or Jon Stewart has liked in the history of ever.
Right. Well, Jon Stewart, no, not.
Well, who's Bill Maher like? Who's a Republican?
Well, I don't know. I don't like Bill Maher, so.
Okay. I'm gonna.
But I know Jon Stewart is fucking totally an ideologue against fucking against the right.
So is Sam Harris. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
He doesn't seem to be like a complete ideologue about it. If there was somebody that he found agreeable, I think he would agree with them, even if they were Republican. I just don't like his views on a lot of the social things.
Who he was talking to was a Republican. There's a lot of Republicans who are still not happy with Trump. That does.
Of course not, because those are what we call the cuck-servatives. That's the whole thing. They have been fucking up the Republican Party. They only pander to the Christian base, and when they get in office, they play the political game. They take fucking favors. They vote against the principles that they say they stand for. They don't do anything that they should be doing. Those are the ones that don't like him, because they've been reaping the benefits of being, a government official, basically being corrupt, in my opinion, skirting the law of corruption anyway.
But apparently all the corrupt people is who Trump is stopping himself or surrounding himself with.
That's what the corrupt people are saying. That's like Stalin saying, hey, that's a bad guy over there. Sorry, Stalin.
Flynn did get busted, in fairness. Flynn did get busted. I mean, even if it was by some illegitimate leak or whatever, I mean, that the leak is still valid. I mean, it's still...
but what did he get busted for? Shit, the same exact shit that Obama did when he was president-elect?
Well, wait a minute. No, he told everybody he didn't have a relationship with the guy, and the recordings prove he did.
No, he said he didn't talk to him about sanctions. Everybody knew he had a relationship with the guy.
Oh, okay.
Like that wasn't news.
Then why did he resign? Then why did he resign? Why did he apologize to Pence?
That's the fucking.
Lied to him.
He lied to Pence, right? Which I think is a fireable offense all on its own. But his lying doesn't even make sense, and I don't know why. Because if the guy knew a little bit of history, the Obama administration and his people were doing that with Iran when he was elected to president. Mm-hmm. So it isn't anything new. It's not something that hasn't been done before, and there's absolutely nothing illegal about it. Bad optics at worst.
Right.
So I assume he got fired for lying to Pence, or there's something more to it that we don't know about.
But you say you alluded to multiple corrupt people. Who are the other corrupt people, Siggy?
I don't know. This is stuff on the podcast. I'm just trying to say what the arguments were, so you guys.
I mean,
she's a Reformation feminist, so
yeah. In fairness, I'm agreeing with you on Flynn, and then I'm like, okay, so do we have plural?
No, they just said like people who were in the Tea Party, like the Tea Party movement is who.
That doesn't make you corrupt.
Himself with.
You're aware that the Tea Party movement, basically like Occupy Wall Street when it first started. They wanted the same exact things, and the majority of the left praises the Occupy Wall Street as being a good thing, even though but the majority of the left are the ones who created all the things that they were protesting.
Being Tea Party or not doesn't make you corrupt.
No, that's what I'm saying. The things that they talk about, like how evil the Tea Party is, it's like, yeah, but a lot of people on the left want the same thing. So the things you're vilifying are things that your own
but if you're going to call them corrupt, I want to hear corruption.
Example, they might have named names. I'd have to go back and check.
Okay, yeah. If we can get something that corrupt people he's surrounding himself with, that'd be great.
Well, that's like Mike Pence saying that he wanted states to have the rights over what was it, homosexual policy?
Well, you're talking about
he felt that was a state's right, and then
electrocute the gay away.
Right? Yeah, like that. That's what it came to because he's like, I'm not anti that, but he's like, I think the states should be allowed to decide. If all the states are for it, then all the states are for it.
Do you know what he actually signed?
What he signed? No.
Yeah. What they're actually complaining about him doing.
What?
No, I know it's nothing as bad as what they're saying, but
Oh no. It's not only is it not as bad as what they're saying, it's something that you literally cannot complain about once you understand what it is. What he did was he approved of homosexuals electing, if they so choose, to get federal money to go to like some sort of like counseling or religious thing that might, treat their homosexuality if they wanted
pray the
to.
gay away.
Yeah, it was a pray the gay away thing, but it was entirely on your own recognizance, and there was no coercion in it at all. And it was like, well, you can use government. I'm okay with you using government money to do this if you are a homosexual person and wish to go to this. That was literally all he did.
Right. Yeah. So another one of the guys that the left likes to call corrupt is Rex Tillerson, because Rex Tillerson was the CEO of ExxonMobil. That's why. From 2006 to last year, when he decided he was going to join the Trump administration. He's the Secretary of State. The reason he's a good Secretary of State is because ExxonMobil is fucking global, which means he's spent a lot of time with foreign diplomats as an employee of ExxonMobil. He has a lot of needing to understand how cultures work in other countries, because your company is going to be subject to the local law of whatever country you're operating in. You can't just be like, I'm an American, so we're going to do American things in your country. Right? So as a non-politician, he's got in a very good position for being Secretary of State and being able to work with foreign countries. But he works with Exxon, and Exxon does some business with Russia. That's all it takes for him to be corrupt in the left side.
Well, also all the countries that we've got squirrely relations with around the world, oil is very relevant to them, either because they're oil exporters or major oil importers.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. He's positioned very well for the job that Trump gave him. I think is a good choice, and I don't have a problem with ExxonMobil personally. But that's it. That's one of the people.
Yeah.
James Mattis, they didn't have any problem with, because they're not that fucking stupid.
No one has, but they thought that Mattis should be the person who the ExxonMobil guy is supposed to be.
Well, I mean, you're talking a career Marine. Obviously, Secretary of Defense is, and he's one of the most like nuanced positions when it comes to our foreign policies, military side. They'd be stupid to put him in the State Department.
You don't send a military guy to be a diplomat. You don't do that.
It's true. Yeah.
I don't think we've actually ever done that. I don't think we've ever done that.
I'll be the first president to do that then.
Yeah.
Looking for your vote, 2020.
Yeah, I think all the way back to the powdered wig days, we never did that.
Oh, and Betsy DeVos, but I have an article about her.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was apparently
the education secretary, for those not aware.
Right. Yeah. So, we'll go to that article right now because it's kind of funny. It's from the Washington Post, so it's a good article. They took a very unbiased position when writing it, of course. All right. So, from the Washington Post, so far, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is just what her critics feared. This is from 2 days ago. Michigan billionaire Betsy DeVos has been U.S. Education Secretary for only a few weeks, but already she has shown herself to be exactly what her critics feared. In her brief time running the Education Department, she has, among other things, insulted teachers at a middle school, who probably deserved it, bashed protesters, they definitely deserved it, saying they are hostile to change and new ideas. By the way, those protesters are teacher union fucking protesters who don't want anything to change other than give the teachers more money so the union can take more money in dues.
Carry on with your story, but I've got an amazing map that's just going to make you cream. 1 second.
Said she would be fine if the department she runs is shut down, which is like the number one thing she's done that I applaud. Like, previous fucking secretaries of education have said that education got worse when they created the Department of Education. Like, the Department of Education has hindered the advancement of education in this country. Like, this is something that people have previously said in her same position. Complain that critics want to make my life a living hell. That seems like a legitimate complaint, since like this article is evidence of that very thing. I would say, did not participate in the first Twitter chat her department had for teachers on February 21st.
Holy shit!
Wait, what?
Apparently,
the monster.
I know.
Didn't participate in a Twitter chat?
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Did
the
somebody
Department of
go back?
Education has a
What
Twitter
the fuck
account.
is wrong with her? What
And
the
so
Somebody
they-
fuck?
somebody had to go back and double check the entire Twitter feed of the conversation to make sure that she didn't participate.
Yes. It was a Department of Education led conversation. Like they created the conversation. It wasn't just a random Twitter conversation. But nevertheless, that still doesn't mean she needs to be there. No fucking Secretary of Education is going to be involved in every fucking conversation with teachers that happens on the internet.
What?
Shit's not going to fucking happen. All right.
But
No,
that's
they're
her
like the
job.
mayor of Baltimore. They're gonna be doing the mad tweets in the middle of a riot. Come on.
Here's another
You know
one
what?
that
You know
I
what, guys?
like.
You know what? I bet Trump would be involved in every single one.
She suggested schools should be able to compensate for troubles children have at home, such as absent fathers. Now, they're kind of taking it a little bit out of context because she wants to make it to where the education system can compensate and is saying that it's hindered from that ability, but also that teachers are fucking lazy and not stepping up to the plate. And that it takes a little extra work when it comes to the troubled kids, and that we need an education system that wants to put in the effort, and we don't have one.
No, we need more drugs. We just need to drug the children more.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what the teachers unions. That's what they actually
that's how we
have
make,
advocated.
That's how we make them better.
The teachers
I just
unions
feel
are the
like
ones
people
that
who hate
pushed.
kids
No.
have become
Teachers unions
Yeah.
are the ones that pushed giving children the fucking Ritalin. How
I know.
all the children are ADD and ADHD, and we need to
I know.
medicate them because they're causing problems in classes. That's the teachers unions. She's
know.
saying
Totally
that's
go
bad,
for some
and that's
Ritalin right
laziness
now.
on the part of the teachers.
Look at
She-
how
Here's
look at how
the best
obedient
one.
they are now. They're just paying so much attention.
Here is the best one. It makes them easier to indoctrinate when they're
Guys,
drugged.
this is the
The
Ritalin
CIA taught us
generation.
that.
This is
Okay,
the
check
Ritalin
this out.
generation protesting
It
in the
is.
streets right now, not
Okay.
knowing what the fuck is happening.
She had U.S. Marshals protect her after protesters blocked her entrance to a D.C. school door. Wait, so protesters impeded her ability to do her job, and so she had to get protection. She's a bad guy because she had to get protection because of protesters.
What?
How does that fucking logic add
Well,
up? That's a fucking.
she should have allowed herself to be free speech to death.
How dare you not be fucking physically assaulted and raped?
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you? How dare
Exactly.
you fucking bigot?
It's against the First Amendment for you to stop me from beating you to death. What?
She made a confusing statement about the Common Core state standards.
I'm sure it
This
wasn't
this is on a list of her atrocities as Secretary of Education. She made a confusing statement. All right, made crystal clear that a top priority will be pushing for alternatives to traditional public schools, otherwise known as school choice. Oh no. Parents are going to be allowed to send their kids to a different school if the school isn't educating the kids to their liking.
Wait
That's
a minute.
fucking
wait a minute.
horrible. Then
Wait a
what?
minute.
She is the
I've got a
fucking
perfect
Antichrist.
way.
Trump's not
to get
Hitler.
the
She's
teachers-
Hitler.
I've got a perfect way to get the teachers unions to be perfectly on board with this. You just require all public school or private schools to join the teachers union, and then suddenly they'd be like, "Oh, okay, we got no problem with it now."
No, that's bad.
No, but I mean, just suggest it, just so that they can make themselves into raging hypocrites. Come on! You say you're Californian, but you're not acting like a Californian. Then come on.
I
Yeah, he's a-
definitely
he
not.
lived in
Fuck California.
No,
I can't
no.
wait for the big one to strike and all you fucks to slide off into the ocean.
No.
That's how I feel about
we
California.
are breeding 10th level passive aggression in California.
Right. And that's why the
So good.
earthquake needs to slide y'all off
Oh, I
into the
know,
ocean.
and we'll like sarcastically slide into the ocean, but not really.
Ironically.
California is
exactly.
the reason that the word literally now doesn't mean literally.
I know exactly.
California is to
Get
blame
wrecked
for that.
English language.
And what is
Wrecked.
it filled with? Mexicans and Persians. What is that?
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, I'm down to sell it to Mexico at this point. Like, if the earthquake's not going to come in the next
Do you
6
understand what
months,
happens if
let's
you
just sell
sell
it
us to
off.
Mexico? Do you know what happens? We're gonna dominate Mexico. That's what's gonna happen.
That's fine.
Go
It's
for
actually
it.
one thing
That's
funny.
fine. Fuck up Mexico. I don't care.
Oh no! We're just gonna rule it. It's really funny because the Mexicans are popular. You've heard of La Raza? You guys heard of La Raza?
Yeah.
It means the race. They believe that they are the superior golden people, which is a sort of an alloy, I guess, of different races, which they believe to be the perfect race, which is like the precise mix of races that the Mexicans are, and which they just say happens to be the perfect race. In any case,
I know another group of people that says something very similar. But
the
go on.
Yeah. So in any case, they think that if they turn California into Mexico, they win. What they forget is they fled Mexico because they were getting wrecked by the people that run Mexico. And what they don't understand is if we join Mexico, that's exactly what's going to happen to them all over again. Like, do you know how people like me live in Mexico?
How?
I gated communities, private law, guys with automatic weapons, walking a fence and shooting the other Mexicans in the head if they basically look at my lawn the wrong way. So if that's what they want, I'm okay with it. It's not going to be great for them, and I'm going to have absolutely no pity at that point. So fucking bring it, La Raza, bring it.
Sometimes I just wish the extreme shit that they wished would happen.
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
We could just see how it could play out.
No, that's
so
actually...
we should just take all the feminists and put them in California. We'll take all the Sharia law fucking courts from the United States. We'll put them all in California. Just everything. All of the fucking social justice warrior nonsense.
Give them
all of Black Lives Matter. Just move them all in California. Be like, go crazy. Whatever you want. It's all you guys. Look at what happened to
ISIS in Iraq. They got everything they wanted, and everybody hates them in Iraq.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and look at all the places where the Marxists take over. It's like, oh, well, this is amazing for about 7 seconds, and then quickly they have to start murdering people in enormous numbers to keep them from killing them fucking Marxists. And
this is the thing that communists and ISIS and feminists and all the ists don't fucking understand. People don't like being told what to do. If they were willingly going to do something and then you tell them to do that, then they don't want to do it anymore. It's just part of being human. You're automatically resistant of people who are trying to control you, even if you agree with them. And they don't get this, and they keep trying to impose their will on other people. And I keep saying, like, all of this stuff with Trump winning and how did he win? If they were just a little less biased and just shat on Hillary a fraction of the way that they shat on Trump, maybe she would have actually won. But people could see that the one-sidedness. They could just see how it didn't seem even. And as human beings, you want equality in that way. You when something seems shifted, it's weird. Everyone wants balance, homeostasis. That's how we are.
Like my left leg is like an inch shorter than my right leg. I can't help but notice it.
The one thing that for me was the damning moment for Hillary Clinton. And I think that this is a non-ideological point here. No, but there's one here that I feel is demonstrative of her character. The whole Benghazi thing with her people getting killed. She went home early at 4 p.m. that day while her people were getting killed. She took an early day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm not saying that I would be a better Secretary of State. Okay, who knows?
I'm saying it.
But I'll tell you this. For how shitty I might be, I would be beating my head against the wall the entire time my people were getting killed, and I certainly couldn't take an early day. It wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be able to sleep that night. I'd be freaking out the whole time.
Doesn't seem human.
You also forgot
like
the previous
robot.
1,000 fucking emails asking for more security, and her ordering him to be there. And then he's getting fucking murdered, and she's like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna go home."
Yeah, and
have a good night.
There are crackheads you can pick randomly off the street of Detroit that would try harder, and I say that without irony or hyperbole, and that being the case, I mean that's not ideology. That's just someone who doesn't care. And that's, imagine her being president. You'd have what was her aide's name or Kima? What was her fucking name?
Huma Abedin.
Fucking Wiener's wife.
Yeah, Huma Abedin.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you'd have her as president. That's what would have happened.
Yeah, apparently they were having a lesbian affair.
I don't.
Allegedly, I think you meant allegedly, not apparently.
Allegedly, sorry.
Who was having an affair?
Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Lesbian? Why would anyone want to touch Hillary Clinton?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not confirmed. Don't necessarily believe us immediately. Do not tell your mom that this is true. Do not
Guys,
know.
we are
Okay,
hashtag fake news.
so the other person that they're shitting on is this Kellyanne individual. Who is she, and what role does she
Kellyanne
play?
Conway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. She kind of deserves it.
Oh, okay.
She's not press secretary. What the hell is she? She's a campaign organizer. What the hell is she?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like she's like.
And also someone named Woody Johnson.
She's a counselor to the president.
Why are
Like,
they
she doesn't
shitting on her?
have like an actual. She's constantly just saying wrong shit.
Like what? What specifically did she say that was?
Like when the fucking what was it? The Flynn shit was going on. She's like, oh no, it's the absolute trust and confidence of the president of the United States. And not even 10 minutes later, the press secretary is like, he lied to the vice president and he's resigning. It's like, bitch, where are you getting your information? Like,
Oh, but
no one in their right mind would send you out there 30 minutes before, breaking the news to shield lies.
She may have just been not put in the loop.
Like the
Well, as I say, like, so why is she going out there and making fucking statements about it?
Well, the thing with people that are not in the loop is they often don't know they're not in the loop.
So apparently,
right. But I'm saying
she's been
you
banned
shouldn't be
from
going
TV.
out and making statements for the White House if the White House isn't asking you to make those statements.
Yeah, but then I'd have to tell you that you're not in the loop. I need to not tell you.
No. If she's like, hey, what's going on? Be like, nothing's going on. But I'm saying, if you work for me and I'm the president of the United States, why the fuck are you going in front of cameras and giving a statement if I didn't ask you to? And why would I ask you to give a stupid-ass statement 30 minutes before a completely contradictory story?
So Independent is saying that she was banned from TV by the White House for contradicting Donald Trump's official line. So this is 16 hours ago. I posted the link. And then there's a sign of a woman saying, I don't regret my abortion. Fuck you. Oh, God.
Yeah. What kind of fucking fake news are you shilling over here?
Okay, so also Trump has also named a friend, Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, as ambassador to Britain.
Cool.
That's pretty normal.
What's your point?
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to name names. You guys asked me for names. I'm trying to see who these people are. I don't know anything about
that are corrupt.
I don't know. I'm asking you whether they're corrupt or not.
Doesn't seem.
Okay, so more than a name, really you get an article saying this guy that Trump appointed is corrupt, like them naming a particular person as corrupt.
Okay, but yeah, Trump has only filled 30 of the 660 vacancies in his administration. So yeah, this is a talking point that is being
of course it is
perpetuated.
What is it? But what does the U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom fucking do? Like, is that really an important?
No, that's
job?
I
mean, like that's a gimme job. You don't have to do shit. You just collect a paycheck. That's what kind of job that is.
Why are taxpayer money going to jobs like this? See, you guys get pissed about money getting spent on welfare and healthcare so that people don't die, but you don't get angry about the stadiums and these kinds of ways.
Who doesn't? I fucking do. I don't know. What are you? You're just making shit up. Just fucking straw man me. Fucking burn me down. Whatever.
I don't hear conservatives or the right or Republicans ever complaining about other ways that the government.
Well, I'm sorry, but a state spending you're talking about a state spending like $100 million on a stadium versus the government spending $14 trillion. I don't know. What's the bigger number? What should we be more concerned with?
I don't know. I'm just saying, there's other
14 trillion, 100 million. Which sounds worse for the taxpayer.
So here's the thing to look at with that. Do you know how many of the 32 football stadiums in the United States were paid majority with private funds?
Not a clue.
I don't.
Take a guess. There's 32. How many of them do you think were paid majority with private funds?
Probably most of them.
Okay, so that's your guess.
So.
Cool. Make a guess.
Okay, 50%.
50%. Okay, so you're both. So he's saying a little bit more than 50. You're saying 50.
I'm saying like 80.
Exactly.
But that's just me.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Bang. And what do you think, Loki?
3.
Loki wins. He's closer. 9 of the 32, majority private funds.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Los Angeles actually has the distinction of being, I believe, almost 100% or 100% privately funded. The reason why Los Angeles didn't have a football team for a long time was because the NFL. Well, no, because the NFL came to us and they said, "Build a stadium or we'll leave." And we said, "How about you go fuck yourself?" And so the NFL left, and we didn't care. Anyway, so they've come back recently, and they're like, "Yeah, so you want to buy the stadium now?" And we're like, "No. However, you can still fuck yourself if you want." And they said, "Okay, I guess we'll just build this stadium entirely on our own dime. We're sorry." And so that's what they did. So yeah, LA has. So that's one of the few things I'm proud about with my city is that we did not drop to our knees and suck the NFL's cock. So there you go.
Well, no city should. It's not really paid off for a majority of the cities to build fucking stadiums.
Only nine cities didn't drop to their knees.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And that's the majority.
Like you have large, like LA is a large city, so they could probably recoup. Hold on, $2 billion, maybe they could recoup. That's a shit ton for the stadium. Apparently, because the NFL makes the majority of the money, right? The money that actually goes back to the city is not.
But think of the jobs.
But it's $2.6 billion for the fucking stadium in LA.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't care what it costs, as long as I'm not paying for it.
Well, no, yeah, I don't either. I'm saying that the NFL, they're the ones who make the majority of the money anyway. So no city should be paying for it because they're not making that money back. And a lot of the jobs are temporary jobs. Right, like the construction jobs. Like,
the players make billions and their coaches.
Yeah, but a lot. But where do the players live? How much time do they actually spend there?
Well, they usually.
How much money do they spend there?
And yeah, I know exactly. Obviously, that's not a big deal. But
I'm saying a place like LA, yeah, but at like St. Louis,
yeah,
most of them didn't even live in St. Louis, and half their games are away anyway.
So the one thing that I'm concerned about that's somewhat related to this is Eric Garcetti, who's the mayor of my city, is making kissy faces at the Olympic Commission to see if they can get the Olympics to swing through LA. I think it's like 2020 or something. And, the Olympic Commission saying the same thing they always say. Oh, yeah, if you host the Olympics, you'll make so much money. And it's like, no, that never happens. Like, LA hosted the Olympics in 1984. And we actually had a great actually to the contrary, we're the only ones who bid for it because there was some sort of like a terrorist attack, I think, or something that happened that year, and so it was bumped to LA at like the last moment. And so basically the Olympic Commission couldn't bargain with LA, so they're just like, so we'd like all these things, and LA is like, yeah, but did you know that we have a saying here, which is you can go fuck yourself? And so the Olympic Commission is like, well then, and so they set the Olympics up using the exact same facilities that LA built for the 1934 Olympics in 1984, and they were still completely functional. There's nothing wrong with them. I mean, you can still, yeah, exactly. And so it basically cost LA nothing for the 1984 Olympics. And the thing that's troubling me about this most recent one is it looks like Garcetti is promising money, and I don't want him to do that. I think he's...
Yeah, why don't people go out and protest this kind of shit? Like, they'll protest Trump saying grab him by the pussy, but, like, this stuff doesn't anger them.
Because
like
this,
stupid, I don't get it.
Their education has failed them miserably, completely.
Well, no, because that's not where the majority of their money is going anyway.
Yeah. Do you know about that California high school? I mean, I don't mean to turn this into the California channel, so tell me to shut the fuck up if you don't want to hear any more about what's happening in my poor benighted state. But we're spending something, I don't know, it's like somewhere between 50 and 120 billion, and I'm sorry if I can't be more specific than that, because they're being vague, and they lie a lot. But yeah, on a high-speed rail system between the city of Los Angeles and the city of San Francisco, the train will cost $120 per passenger between those two cities, which is interesting because a plane ticket costs $80 or less between those two positions. And it will also be slower. Also, it also goes from nowhere to nowhere.
Don't
But
forget that part.
hipsters are gonna be like flying is like too.
It's like Modesto
too
No.
much. Like
some
I'm in
other
one
place.
city and then I'm in the
Hipsters
next.
have no money.
I
They're
need
not going to be able to
travel.
afford it. No. Hipsters have no money.
No, like rich
No,
hipsters.
yeah,
like,
but it
wanna
goes
be-
from like where the fuck? It's like the middle of the desert in Southern California. Yeah,
Hmm.
Victorville to fucking like Modesto or some shit
Well,
like that.
the
It costs
idea
billions
is-
of dollars. Like no one in those places wants to be in those places. Why the fuck do you think people would spend that kind of money to travel from one shithole to another? Because they can't
the
get them
idea-
into LA. That's the problem.
No, the idea is to connect the distant suburbs out there into the urban hearts of those.
I've been there. There isn't one in Victorville.
Well, no, there would be though if you had a high-speed rail out there.
Yeah, allegedly.
Is that the if
Well,
we build it,
it
they will
wouldn't-
come?
Look,
situation?
okay, the cost of real estate in Los Angeles and San Francisco is such that yeah, you're gonna move out there if you can. I mean,
Yeah, but that's not where the train doesn't
rent,
run into San Francisco. That's the problem.
ultimately, it will is what they're saying.
Yeah, but it's also cost billions of dollars already to run from nowhere to nowhere. It's not even done yet. So what is it going to end up costing by the time they're done?
Wait a minute, sir. Does it sound like I'm advocating this thing?
A little bit.
No.
Well, I'm saying it runs from nowhere to nowhere, so it's just a huge waste of everything. Like time, effort, money.
No, it's not a waste. It is. It's a scam, actually. It's.
Well, of course, it's a scam.
Because the federal government.
It's California. Everything's a fucking scam.
Well, actually, generally speaking, one of the reasons why everybody perked their ears up when they heard Trump was going to offer infrastructure projects is because infrastructure projects, when administered by the government, are almost always full of funny money. And so that's just like him basically, like they hear that and they go, ooh, we're going to get bribed. Continue, I'm listening. And so, yeah, the federal government offered 50% matching funds, 100% matching funds, I guess is the correct way to look at that. Whatever California throws in, the federal government will match that. And so the more that California says it costs, the more the federal government will put into this sort of black box account. Right. And what happens with the money? Like, so California can put money in to say that the federal government should put money in, and then California can take all that money out and put it into the hookers and cocaine fund, which is where it went.
Yeah, they have their own like high-speed rail authority.
No.
Well, Crowder was pointing out how nothing gets done in California. Because like every time they try to solve a problem, the millennials, so they're like, okay, we have a water problem in California. Okay, let's build dams. That'll fix it. No, but dams are harm the environment. We have a transportation problem. Okay, let's build rails. But no, rails will go through this area, and we have an endangered species there, and it'll kill them.
Well, here's the dumb thing. Remember I was referring to the airport previously, the airplane, and what people will always say is, oh yeah, but airports are terrible. And it's like, okay, what's cheaper? Fixing fucking LAX, which is really the problem here, or building a high-speed rail system between Los Angeles and San Francisco. Which of these two things is harder?
Obviously, building the high-speed rail through all the fucking mountains.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Scenic and pretty. I would totally take the train.
No,
then move to fucking Europe.
That's
the fuck off my continent.
I'd be okay with you doing that so long as you paid the full cost of what the whole thing cost, which you're not that rich, so no.
Yeah,
I don't want to pay for it. That's all I'm saying.
So high, they're going to subsidize that shit. There's going to be some kind of like voucher fucking program. You know it will.
Mm-hmm, I know.
You know California's going to go until they just destroy themselves.
Well, the thing here's
how many cities do you have that have declared bankruptcy so far?
3 or 4. 3 or 4. Usually, they're small towns mostly, but
how does that even happen when you have
exactly
amount of billionaires per capita?
Oh, it's not in the billionaire parts of California. California's not billionaires. The thing with California is it's a big place, and a lot of people think of it like it's all everything underneath the Hollywood sign is California. It's like no, it's like saying that France is literally nothing but Paris or something.
Yeah,
I mean, Hollywood's pretty grimy.
San Bernardino is one of the fucking cities that fucking declared bankruptcy, and that's a pretty big place.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's no LA, but it's fucking big.
Right. So but the thing with California and
That's why the shooting actually happened, because the town went bankrupt.
Is there's very different interests. There's very different interests between different parts of California. It's like think of the political differences between New England and I don't know, fucking Mississippi. You get political differences that are that extreme in California, and you wouldn't think it, but it happens. You just go 100 miles or something east in California, and something. I mean, like look at the political voting map of California in the last election, if you want to see what I'm talking about. What you'll see is around Los Angeles and San Francisco and so forth. It's all blue, and then the rest of it's red. And the economy.
I found an article about it. It's fake news. Don't worry. It's the Sacramento Bee. We know how trustworthy they are.
I'm sorry. We refer to that as sac. Stress on the K.
It's sac
to sound like Balzac.
So it says nearly a third of Californians live in 77 economically challenged cities, including Los Angeles, with high levels of poverty, low levels of income and employment, a new study declares. Moreover, says the report from the National Resource Network, California's distressed cities are more than a quarter of the 297 U.S. cities over 40,000 population that fall into that category. The organization is affiliated with the White House's Council on Strong Cities. Economically challenged cities are defined as those with unemployment rates of 9 or higher and or with more than 20% of adults living in poverty.
No, we need more illegals. Come on.
Yeah, because that'll drive both those numbers up.
Yeah, but the no, Los Angeles is mark my words, it's going to become the next Detroit. It's unstoppable at this point.
I know. That's why
people are fooling themselves. They don't realize it's already too late.
And it's going to drag Riverside down with it.
Oh, yeah. So it's really sad because LA, used to be the place, but they did the same thing to fucking Detroit as well. Detroit was at one point in time the wealthiest
signaling celebrities won't save it.
Detroit used to be the wealthiest per capita city in the United States.
Yep.
And now it's crack dens and abandoned houses that you can buy for $1. And
apparently Philadelphia is doing better these days, though.
Guys, can I buy some Detroit property?
Hmm?
Yeah, you can.
Crackheads are free.
What do Loki and I have to do to get to the States and for me to get into university in the States?
If I buy a bunch of property in Detroit, and then I don't touch it and let the crackheads live there, am I technically helping the poor?
No, but you also don't want to pay that high-ass fucking property tax rate they still have.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
I think you.
What schools are they paying for?
Oh, they're not paying for schools. Wait a minute, motherfucker! I already gave you a link on this. The last link I put up. Click on that. Click on that, you piece of shit.
Where'd you put the link? You're not putting.
Oh my god! I will shank you.
He doesn't have access to the general chat.
What?
Why wouldn't he?
No, I mean in the group chat and Hangout. He can't post it.
I will shank you.
Oh, can you live chat it?
No, I'm gonna Discord
live chat.
No, I got it. I see it. I see the map. What are we looking at? Detroit.
Okay, look at Detroit. It. No. Don't fuck Detroit. Look at anywhere. Understand what the map is.
That's actually a really nice map.
Understand what the map is. What is the map? What is it? Look at it.
Okay, it's how per pupil spending compares across U.S. school district.
It's per pupil spending on K through 12 education in the United States by district.
Okay, so
it ranges from $8,000 per year. Or, sorry, I think there's some places with as low as 5, but 8 is usually about as low as it gets. And in some places, I saw it as high as $70,000 per pupil.
What the fuck?
Oh.
So Wyoming's doing pretty good for itself.
So since they've dropped the Michigan property tax because, the Detroit, was it St. Clair County? They've dropped it. If you own a $250,000 house, which apparently the property value didn't go down, which is pretty funny. So you have crack houses that are fucking $250,000. Mm-hmm. You would owe $4,000 a year in property taxes in an unlivable house.
Yep.
Still a lot for a place that you couldn't live in because they're
That's
cooking
where
meth in
Washington
there.
is.
Where the fuck did you think Washington was?
I thought Washington was
Holy shit.
where Iowa is.
Or Nebraska is? Or Kansas?
Or like I thought it was like on the opposite side where
You would
on
not pass a naturalization test.
Oh.
Didn't Hillary say she was going to get rid of that if she won? Wasn't that one of her campaign promises?
I know, but then she got shanked.
What state is Atlantic City in?
That'd be New Jersey.
Jersey. As I said, the only fucking landfill that has statehood in the world.
No, because
No. Come on, it's
Jersey.
the garden. It's the Garden State, buddy. Garden State.
But the gardens are built on top.
Yeah,
of
fucking car parts. That's what. It's a fucking modern art masterpiece.
Oh.
Wait, why is this? Why is it? Hold on. Okay, why is this map color coded completely the wrong way?
What do you mean?
Red is good, blue is bad.
No,
Yeah.
red
Color
is.
The other thing that they did is there is for one color that last color represents all prices between about 16,000 and 70,000. Whereas
Last color being what, gray?
that dark green color
Right.
starts in at about 16,000, I think, and it goes all the way up to 70,000, and it's that same color the whole time. There's no darker color.
They should have made it a darker color, but
Yeah.
no, but I'm just saying it's color coded wrong. I think blue would be like the calm, nice color where they're not overspending, and red would be like with these.
Oh no!
danger
See,
areas.
you're looking at Education Weekly. You're looking at the Education Week website.
Yeah.
The more money, the better to them.
Yeah. No,
You're looking at it with the wrong mindset.
I'm not. I don't care what their narrative is. What I care about is the data, and the data.
No,
I believe is accurate.
I'm saying the reason it's that color is because they think less money bad.
Yeah.
Right, because they're the schools. The schools want more money, so less money bad.
Wait,
Even though there's,
I'm gonna share this thing with the chat.
You know what you should probably do? I couldn't get this if you guys
My whole state's like
fail
red.
at the Google. Is we can get an SAT score across the country,
To compare?
and we can overlay the two, and we can
That'd
see
be
if there's any
awesome.
correlation between spending and SAT scores. And
That
I
would
mean,
be cool,
obviously there would be. So you guys already look. I'm sitting here, basically Mars prospecting over here.
What game is that?
Are you guys failing at Google so hard I have to do this? Do I have to do this?
What game is that?
This is Elite Dangerous.
But I thought you were supposed to be in the spaceship.
I'm just
Yeah,
awed
but
by how
you
cool
can-
this map is.
You can land. Yeah, but you can land. I know. I have really good data. You can land on planets in Prospect as a little Mars rover.
As like a research analyst, this is like satisfying all my nerdiness.
Oh well. See, this is what I'm zooming around on. This thing.
Huh. That's really neat. You should live stream your game.
There you go. Here's your fucking SAT scores, if anyone cares.
Where is it?
Do they correlate? Does it demonstrate that money equals higher SAT scores?
It's not as broken
Pronounced?
down. It's just state.
That's fine. You can
So
see
it's a
some
little
states
upsetting.
where they've got lots of spending, and some states
Well,
where they got lots of
Idaho
spending.
is already wrong.
Oh, what? But they spend so much money.
Let's see.
Hold on, I'm putting the two maps side by side on my new fancy screen.
Yeah.
To
See.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a search on the assumption that you fail at Google. Let me see. SAT
So I'm looking at the
scores.
combined, and the Midwest seems to do better in general, which is weird. So apparently, there's a lot more stupid people living by the ocean. Is that what I'm given to understand here?
That's why not.
That's what. Well, no, I'm looking at it like Texas, Florida, Georgia, North South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Rhode Island. All of them are the lightest colors, which are the lower scores.
Mhm.
And then your Midwest states like Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska,
yeah, but those seem to be doing
Michigan.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're all doing better. But if you look at the spending map,
Colorado's
isn't-
doing good, yeah.
isn't necessarily a correlation,
But they're doing good.
right? Because South Dakota, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota, if you look at the combined scores, they're all dark purple,
Are
meaning
you
they're
looking
fucking
at
high
the
scores.
CT
And then if you-
or the
and then if-
SAT.
I'm looking at
There's two
SAT.
tabs.
SAT.
Okay.
But like
We're
New
talking about
York has
SATs.
such high spending, but then they're
Right,
like
right.
one of the
Well, that's what I'm
lowest
saying,
colors.
right? But if you look at like Wyoming,
Yep.
New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey,
Yep.
it's actually the opposite. So the more money seems to be less results.
Well,
The
also
more
what
you
you're saying,
spend,
fine.
no,
Wyoming
well,
has high money, and that has good.
Siggy, it's
What?
per pupil cost. So the map you're not looking at isn't by population; it's by the amount per student. So it doesn't matter if it's a higher population; it's how much they're spending per student.
Well, that's slightly
Right, like Wisconsin spends 12,000 per student, California spends 8,000 per student, New York spends 30,000 per student. So it doesn't matter what the population of the state is; how much they're spending.
Here's another thing you see from this: the people in the flyover states higher SAT scores.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, they're so stupid. They're so stupid. These people in the flyover states.
Yeah, it's all the stupid fucking rednecks apparently.
Yeah.
Oh God,
everybody else.
So North Dakota is doing pretty good. Wyoming, but Wyoming has high spending. They're doing good. Utah's doing good despite low spending. Colorado is kind of mixed, but they have high scores. Surprisingly, so Texas has pretty low scores, but they have high spending. Montana is kind of a mix.
Let's look at some more correlation.
Well, yeah, exactly. But the point is that there isn't. The point is there isn't. You know.
Yeah, there's so many variables like.
Well, no. The point is,
I put the
narrative is
election.
Wrong. We already can tell the narrative is wrong.
Let's compare the election map to the SAT scores. See if there's a correlation.
Oh, actually, that'd be amazing.
So true. So true.
There is a correlation.
There's a bit of one, yeah.
I tell you.
Quite heavily. That the SAT scores are very correlative to the election map.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, they really no, because the left really thinks people are that dumb. It's so insulting when you actually take a moment to think of everything they're saying. Even when they're talking about, so I even brought this up today with Mycroft when we were talking about like Sam Harris saying how it's like Russian propaganda. Even if they didn't hack our election in terms of voters, like there was Russian propaganda going on. It's like that's how low you really think of the American people, that they had no actual valid reasons for doing what they did, and they just bought into like Putin.
Yeah.
It's so insulting.
No, it's not. Because you know how long these people have been doing this? Are you guys familiar with scientism?
Nope.
It goes basically back to the whole origin of, I guess, are you guys familiar with the libertine movement?
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's all part of that. It's like basically like the proto-Marxists is part of the
like the
French.
Intellectual Marxists.
Yeah, but it's Marxism before Marxism.
I did air quotes, but I guess nobody can.
Yeah, I can't see your air quotes. It was Marxism before Marxism was around because Marx wasn't born yet. But it was sort of like the proto-philosophy that preceded that, and it's libertine movement. It's the whole notion of freedom is defined by the absence of any kind of equality of outcome, and that no one has any obligations on you. That freedom is basically not having to do anything for anybody else. Was the libertine notion of freedom?
Is it a Jamestown thing?
Well, yeah, Jamestown was an example of things like that getting applied, although that, I believe, preceded even the libertine movement. You could look at Owensville, Harmonyville, but it sort of goes back to the original philosophical roots of this stuff. And so there was a scientist or scientism thing that they were doing where they basically were arguing that their ideology was scientifically the only valid position, and anyone who was advancing any other ideological position was against science. And when have we heard that before? Oh, wait a minute, it's what they're still doing.
Yeah.
But it's the same ideology though, or same school of ideologies that's doing it. The liberals are not liberals. What they are is libertines. It's a completely different school of thought. The traditional liberals are associated with the English philosophical school, which were called themselves liberals, and who defined freedom more in terms of freedom from force and coercion.
Yeah, that's kind of libertarian. That's kind of the nonviolent principle and freedom from.
Right, but you see, right. So, but like a libertine would consider even a contract that you'd signed on your own free will to be a violation of your freedom.
So Wikipedia says that libertinism is described as an extreme form of hedonism, and it's one devoid of moral and sexual restraints, which are seen as unnecessary or undesirable, especially one who ignores or even spurns accepted morals and forms of behavior sanctified by larger society. So if you adhere to society, what? So like society should, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Basically, you shouldn't be obligated to do anything. So like, you know, when SJWs get pissed when you tell them that meritocracy is a thing because Jeff is actually just more useful than Sally because he's smarter than she is, just for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they get pissed and they're like, no, you need to that's just you're oppressing Sally now by holding her to any kind of standard whatsoever.
Fuck standards. That shit's bigger than.
Well, right. So libertines don't like standards, though.
Well, I like the way that Jordan Peterson kind of phrased it, because he's like, if you just want to be average, then why the fuck are you bothering doing anything? Like every sort of human endeavor is to be better, is to bring yourself above the norm. If you think everyone should be the same, then why would you ever strive for anything?
Well, they don't strive. No, what they want to do is eat potato chips and get fat, basically.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's what happened literally in Jamestown. Are you familiar with Jamestown, Sigyn?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened.
I studied that shit in psychology.
Not Jonestown. Jamestown.
Oh.
Jamestown.
I had that clarified for me.
Oh. Okay.
But I listened into a whole conversation that Will.
Jamestown.
Yeah, it's predated. This is like a very early American English colony.
Okay.
And they had they did a social experiment where what they did, and this is back in tricorn hat days. What they did was they had a communal society where everyone shared equally amongst themselves.
How'd that work out?
They almost starved to death because what happened was some people went out in the field and worked, and most of the people just kind of stayed in town and waited for the food to arrive. And so the town basically almost starved to death. And then what they did was, and this is back in the days when.
But you can force anyone to work, like you can be like.
Well, they weren't. They weren't. But then what they did was I think it was like a minister or something who was also kind of a leader of the town said, "Those that do not work, neither shall they eat," which apparently is a quote out of the Bible. And then what they did was they divvied the land up on traditional property rights rules. Like, okay, Bob, this is your plot of land. Dave, this is your land, and so on, right? And you're entitled to the product of your land, and you'll work it. If you do not work your land, then you can starve to death and fuck you. And the town basically was prosperous thereafter.
Huh.
Yep.
Look at that.
And then Harmony, Illinois, which is the other example, was set up by a textile magnate by the name of Owens. And that was another social experiment cited by Marx and Engels and so forth as sort of a proto-Marxist experiment. And what happened there was basically he poured the wealth of his entire textile fortune into buying pizza and tampons for the people that were living in his like little perfect society, and they basically ate the pizza and did face paints with the tampons. And then when they'd gone through all of his money, he shut it down and they all left, and that was the end of the experiment.
Huh.
They also had a lot of intellectuals that showed up and they liked to talk.
Yeah. That's a common feature among intellectuals.
They talked about a lot of things. Yeah. So like
they really are.
The ratio of people thinking about things, doing things was unacceptable.
Right, because most people just didn't do anything.
Well, I mean, they spent Mr. Owens' money. They're really good at that. Everyone agreed that Mr. Owens' money should continue to be spent.
It just sounds like a boring and miserable, meaningless way to live.
Well, yeah, but see, then what you do is you spin your power into sex slaves and power structures where you have total domination, and you basically turn yourself into a king who gets everybody to thank you for just being so nice. Which is what the Soviets were doing. It's what the Chinese have set up with their oligarchy, and it's what the North Koreans have. It's what Castro set up. Yep, and that's just been it.
So what about those who are making the argument that Trump is becoming authoritarian and actually increasing government and government control of things?
He's merely using features that were set up under the Obama administration and previous administrations that people were already complaining about. But they didn't have a problem with it when Obama had the power. They just suddenly
the double standard, just it's so obvious. I don't know how people just ignore it.
I mean, honestly, I hope this is one of the things I hope. I hope Trump abuses the system enough that they take the power away from the presidency that it has. I want them to set it back to what the presidency used to have. Why
do they even have so much power?
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it unless basically Trump sits there and like rubs his dick on the top of their head until he like makes a little bald patch, and then they might do it. So I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, but I think like ardent Trump supporters will see him do no wrong. Like if
fucking Obama supporters are still seeing nothing wrong with what Obama did.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Everyone has some sort of goggle on. I don't know why. I feel like I'm the only one who looks to like try to find the middle. Like I just want to find the balance.
That's how everyone.
You're the only rational one. Oh,
sorry.
Tragic.
Did I hurt your feelings?
No. I just got euphoric for a minute. But anyway.
Well, we're hitting the 2-hour mark. How many articles did we get through?
Like 5.
Did we actually?
Yeah.
That's good.
I have 5 saved in the description, so I'm gonna.
We didn't get through those.
Which ones did we go through?
The 2 about the Labor Department. The education one.
Okay, well, we have 4 minutes. Is there anything else you want to go through?
No, we won't get through. Nope. Other than Trump fired a black person, so obviously he's racist.
How's Ben Carson doing? Is he still involved at this moment?
Yeah, he's the Secretary for Housing and Urban Development.
I thought he was the Secretary of Health or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
And is that working out, or are people still?
I don't think he's been confirmed yet. He's still waiting.
Okay.
Who's he waiting for? Is it the Trump
Senate
to allow him to become the thing he wants to be?
No,
it's the Senate, but he already bought a house. He's like, no, I'm getting confirmed, motherfuckers. He already bought a house in D.C.
We should ask Sam Harris why Ben Carson hasn't gotten confirmed yet. Sam Harris can tell us.
I don't think Sam Harris has a problem with Ben Carson, actually.
No, but I should ask him anyway because Sam Harris has opinions about things, and everyone should just keep asking him what the answer is.
He seems like he's
a week ago, Ben Carson told the Senate to drop the politics and do their job because he's been waiting for over a month now to be fucking confirmed. Now, there's no reason not to confirm him. Really, I mean,
right?
He's like the most soft-spoken guy. He doesn't really say controversial things, really. It's like his most notable thing is he's a world-renowned surgeon. It's like, okay, what's the issue?
Why do people hate him so much?
Because
he's guilty of wrong thing. He's black. No, he's supposed to be a Democrat.
Creepy. He's creepy Morgan Freeman is what he is.
Wait, creepy Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, he's like Morgan Freeman if he were creepy. Creepy Morgan Freeman.
That doesn't sound right at all.
I mean, just imagine going into your house at night, the lights are out, and you just hear Ben Carson just welcome you to your house.
What the next 4 years is going to be like Trump doing nothing and people freaking out about everything.
Well,
it's just, I don't know.
You mean
well, the
8
thing
years?
Well, the thing is that the country is polarized on its media and its information sources. So the people that are listening to CNN, that is what they will hear. And the people that are, like diehard Trump, well, no, but the people that are like diehard Trump supporters are listening to completely different media, and so they're hearing a completely different narrative. And so it's like two different countries almost,
Yeah.
completely different information, different culture,
Like
different
two
perceptions
different
of reality.
minds.
Yep.
People need to figure their shit out. People need to actually start and talk out these issues and figure out where they stand and not just like decide that they have opinions on things based on what the news tells them.
Canada, that's not how we do things. We're gonna
Oh,
kill each other.
you're just sure of things just without
No,
ever like looking into it.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna get in a big Jello above ground pool, and we're gonna wrestle, and we're gonna figure out which of us is tougher than the other.
One thing I really am learning about Americans, and I've pointed this out, you guys really do love to fight.
Huh?
Like you have your teams and you're loyal to them, whether it's sports or politics or whatever. So I mean that's a feature that you guys seem to have that other countries don't.
That's how you win wars. Canada wouldn't understand.
They need to submit to our
As selfish people, we just want to live our lives and have our home.
Okay, then submit.
You're goddamn individuals.
In the words of Reagan, if you want peace and you want it now, the surest way to do that is to surrender.
Yeah, no.
Do it.
Islam's saying the exact same thing right now.
I'm willing to go to jail. My parents already said that if I go to jail for my political beliefs, they won't judge me. They'd support me, even if they disagreed with it. So
horrible.
Let's see how well I do in jail, my Valley Girl self. I mean, I saw Orange is the New Black. It doesn't seem that bad.
Black is the new black.
I can just play the victim card even better.
You can't. You'll just be with all the other minorities in jail.
I don't know if the victim card works at all in prison. I don't think it works at all. I think actually that'd be an amazing story, is like a bunch of SJWs in prison trying to talk about their oppression points to, I don't know, some guy with like fucking swastikas tattooed onto his forehead.
The liberals have gone into the prisons and they're convincing, in Canada at least, they're convincing people that they're victims and that the reason that they're there is because society. It's all society.
Well, yeah, because it might get you through a parole hearing.
You didn't commit a crime. The world made you do it.
Sure, and that might get you through a parole hearing. And so the guy hears that and goes, so this is going to get me out of jail sooner, right? Okay, then yes, I believe this thing you are saying. But if you are trying to explain to the gentleman who is intent on jamming a broomstick up your asshole, that would be enforcing oppression paradigms in this prison, and it's very triggering. I think what he's going to do is he's going to lick his lips and jam that up your asshole just a little bit harder with a twist. So I just don't think it's going to work. I think that's just going to be a mistake. You will regret that line of argument.
Okay, well, I'll let you know how that goes.
I mean, just look at that just expression of perfect peace on that man's face. He slams that thing home.
Well, I would be in a female, although then with all these transgender laws, you don't know anymore.
Boom!
Oh, wait. How do you go to jail if you're one sex but pretend to be another?
Well, no, they've already decided
that's what they're saying about Smuggly Puff, though.
Yeah.
He was
We talked about this last
be...
week, Loki. Remember the guy had to get moved out of the female prison because he was fucking all the female inmates?
Yep. Also, there was a trans... male to female trans athlete who won some sort of a track and field competition.
Yep.
And
but it's only ever one way. It's only ever men that pretend to be women that win all the competitions.
All right.
Women who pretend to be men never win.
No, but Smuggly Puff was a woman trying to be a man.
So
until she got arrested, and then she's like, "No, I'm a woman."
Anyway, what were you saying?
Well, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the things that I love about the trans issue. It makes me very sad that the conservatives are opposing the trans issue, because it's one of those main things where if you just let them have everything they want, it will destroy itself so fucking hard. Can you imagine if every single like what we could do is just have like unisex bathrooms?
Mm-hmm. You
could have, and correct me if I'm wrong, C, how would you respond to a bathroom full of dudes farting as your bathroom?
That's my everyday life.
I know that's what dudes deal with because that's our bathroom. But
Well, I just don't understand why this problem can't be solved by just having a single stalled bathroom available, or like a single
we
person
already
where you.
have that.
We've already
It's
had
a
this
handicap
discussion
bathroom.
too.
It's the
Yeah.
handicap bathroom. We already have that, but that's not good enough. They
No,
want to be
there
able to
were
go.
no bathroom laws until this whole fucking leftist tranny let's do something. Businesses created bathrooms for access for their customers, so customers would stay there longer and spend more money while shopping instead of leaving to go to the bathroom. They gendered the bathrooms because women were uncomfortable using the same bathroom as the men because men are disgusting. And there was no law. It's just a social norm that now they're like, we need to make laws about this. You're all fucking sexist. Like we did it for you. Fuck off.
Right, but see, like, so
Well, I
there's
mean,
a lot
I
of
have
sort
to
of normie.
confess when the lineup for the girls' bathroom is too long, I will go into the males'
And that's
bathroom.
not a crime. There was no law until they started making the tranny bathroom laws. That's when it actually started becoming a legal fucking thing. If they had just left it alone, they could use whatever bathroom they wanted.
Dudes have gotten in trouble for going into the girls' bathrooms, though.
Yes, but for very different reasons.
Yeah,
no, just
yeah.
if they're
Just
look,
because the lineup is too long.
cited different. No, look, if a dude, because the line was too long, went into the female bathroom, and all he wanted to do was to lay a log, he could still get in trouble. I'm just saying.
What kind of trouble?
I assume, at the very least, getting the police to take you someplace, possibly not charges filed, but
Well, there isn't a charge because, as I said, there's no law for it. At most, the company can ask you to leave, and if you refuse to leave, they can call the cops, and then you're trespassing after being thrown out of the place.
Decency laws are highly subjective.
I will accept that if you can just show me one example.
Okay.
Before, was it 2013? I think was the first bathroom law that was created. When they started making it an issue, I think it was 2013. California was the first. Fucking, I don't remember where it is, but one of the cities
Honestly,
in California was the first one to make a bathroom law.
I just wonder if people who were really transgendered just did what they wanted and not made this issue, nobody would have noticed and nobody would have cared.
Well, here's the problem:
I don't
is you
even
have
think it's dumb. It's
really
like politics
fucking manly-looking
to...
fuckers who are like, "I'm a tranny with a fucking beard and putting on a
But
dress.
those,
Like, I should be allowed to use the woman's bathroom."
Didn't happen if like they just transgender people existed and they were transitioning and
It's the
they just
Tumblr
didn't.
trannies. It's the Tumblr
It's like the
trannies.
political activism and the
It is. That's what a Tumblr tranny is. They're not actually transgender. There's like, oh, well, I'm otherkin.
I stand up for their
That's why they're
rights.
creating all this shit. Because,
I'm such
well,
a
no,
good
they're
person.
claiming to be transgender because of whatever little stupid fucking thing.
They
like,
have mental illness and they just
no,
don't know.
they're not real transgender people. They're just wanting attention.
I'm not saying the transgender people have mental illness. I'm saying the people who are pretending to.
Everyone has mental illness, so
I
that does
do
no
think
good.
that everybody has life is hard. And
So if everybody has mental illness, nobody does.
no one does.
So there is no mental illness. You heard it here, guys. No need for mental health facilities. We don't need psychiatrists. We don't need psychologists. Just
that just means
kill them
we
all.
need it more.
Burn them in the
That's
square
like saying,
at the stake.
Hey,
that's like
is that
saying
what we used to do?
if everybody
when fucking,
doesn't, if everybody gets
maybe
a
that's
cold,
what just
no
Salem
one
witch
does.
trials is all about, guys. There's just a bunch of feminists that
No,
are getting
wait.
annoying to a bunch of fucking religious
said
people, and they're
that.
like, you know what?
said
You know what, guys? I think we haven't had a fucking proper witch trial in a while. Let's find these bitches and just fucking burn them.
Well,
Your history will
So
forgive
you mean
us.
that if everyone gets cancer, no one does? Like, does that work the same way?
Everyone does get cancer.
You do know an aspect of that was that they basically were practicing voodoo, right?
You mean by shoving things inside of other things?
No, they learned voodoo from like African people that they had.
Is voodoo real?
I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying it's a ritualistic practice. I'm not saying you actually summon spirits. I'm just saying you do dance around a fire and chant bullshit.
Okay, but I've been to Persian fucking New Year celebrations, and they also fucking dance around the fire.
We
and
do
jump
that
over it.
once a year, and that's to like
wear away the evil spirits of the last year.
Only once a year.
The point is, imagine you're in Puritan New England, surrounded by people that were too fucking fundamentalist Christian to be tolerated in England.
All right, so they only sit around the Christmas tree once a year.
And then some girls in your community start doing voodoo. Do you understand why they're
the thing with the dolls and the needles?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no fire
Yes.
dancing involved in voodoo.
know,
There's also
understand what I am
sacrificing
saying.
chickens. There's also there's a lot more.
The
to
point
voodoo
is
than you
there's creepy ritualistic shit, and the thing is that it all looked like witchcraft to the Puritans, and they're like, no, okay, well, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, so you just won the Darwin Awards.
There you go then.
Yeah, it's pretty much what happened. You heard it here first, folks. The people murdered in the Salem witch trials won the Darwin Awards. Golf clap.
That's exactly what they did.
Yep.
Unless they got pregnant beforehand and gave birth.
Well, I mean, a lot of them were like 70 years old, and they had like lots of grandchildren and stuff, so they didn't literally
so
win the Darwin.
inevitably still got past.
Yeah, in most cases, yeah.
I think the Darwin Award should be restructured to
Apply to-
include that one major aspect that evolution actually, the gene that actually has to get passed on. I understand if it's like a 20-year-old that jumps off a roof and fucking dies while trying to jump into a pool or drunk off his ass and high on PCP, and you're like, yep, he's not reproducing anymore.
Yeah.
He wins the Darwin Award. But if you're like 70 and have a whole brood behind you, like you've already like funded? No.
Yeah.
What's
I mean, the
term?
point is that, and there's other stuff that went on with it as well. A lot of it was involved with like land. A lot of the people that were killed, that their property was subsequently taken by the people that had accused them. So it's like, haha, I get your farm now. It's a good thing you were a witch because I was about to be broke.
That's convenient.
Yep, it was super convenient.
That's why I want to bring back the witch trials. There's some nice farmland I'd like.
Yep.
Yeah, but the SJWs don't have any farmland. Actually, they
Yeah, but this old bastard does. He's got like fucking 380 acres right next door.
Who do you think he's sacrificing to the old gods?
I don't know. I'm gonna accuse him of being a part of Pizzagate. That's what I'm gonna do.
Damn.
So are we there? Are we part of the Illuminati with the satanic rituals?
Oh, you aren't?
Wait. Why not?
I mean,
why
it's
not
not
just
real.
join them?
Someone sent me an invitation. I'll gladly go join the Illuminati or the Freemasons, the Stonehengers, whatever the fuck they're called.
The Skull and Bones.
No, I can't be. I wasn't born into money. I can't go that high.
Are you saying you literally couldn't wear an ascot?
What's an ascot?
Oh, you're fucked. You're
So
fucked.
that's a no.
That's a no.
Sorry.
You can't trigger. You saw, like, I gave him an opportunity, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and he failed.
Open the door for you.
That was your one chance.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess all my ancient knowledge will die with me.
Because you don't know what an ascot is. Useless.
Sounds dirty though.
What's an ascot?
Also, instant fail. Triggered knows. See?
How many does he wear?
None. But I know how. That was the question.
Is this an American thing? Are we missing out on something?
No.
It isn't actually.
It's a rich person thing.
It's true. Yeah. High society. Western elites. And some militaries.
Nope, no idea what it is.
Yeah, also, it's a sort of a piece of cloth you wrap around your neck.
Yeah, it's like
a tie.
Really fruity tie type thing.
It's a thing you put around your neck when you go to the yacht club, buddy.
Yep.
That's lame. Okay. Well, have fun with that.
Yeah, no. Ruling the world.
Do you know what a cravat is?
Yes.
Okay,
it's a tie.
It's kind of like that.
You mean a crevasse?
No, cravat. It's kind of like that.
It's like a tie.
Yes, it's like a tie.
Okay.
And then it goes around your neck.
Tie.
And then
in the same way that a skirt is like pants because they go over your legs.
Except
but they don't go around your legs.
Yes, except for exactly. Like, but no,
I'll find a picture.
Not,
I'll find
not the same thing.
Oh, there we go.
It's like, are you wearing a Catholic schoolgirl skirt or a kilt?
There you go.
The difference?
In the Discord. There you go. There you go, Loki.
No, they're very obviously different.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just another really puffy shirt underneath.
Oh.
Now
That's
you know.
so gay.
It's for
So gay.
yeah, nowadays. It's very very rich gay men, older distinguished homosexual gentlemen
Okay.
like wearing them.
Yeah. Also,
Genesee
men that own
should have
yachts.
spirit of wrath.
Yes.
If you own a yacht and you wear an ascot, you are not necessarily gay.
It's true.
You're just a douchebag.
You're just a douchebag who's getting blown by a model in your
A
yacht.
dumb model.
Yeah. So I'll take
Yeah.
douchebag any day if I own a
I
yacht
mean,
and have
you
a
don't really
supermodel
care how
suck my
smart
wouldn't-
she
I
is.
wouldn't
Your
be able
job
to.
is to accept your seed in your mouth.
When
I
when I own a yacht with a fucking captain who fucking drives me around wherever I want and I have supermodels sunbathing all over it, I'll be a douche. That's cool. I don't fuck it.
See, I don't want to
care.
be the model. I want to be the captain. Can I get my own like male
You want to
model
be the
slave?
captain?
You do
You'd
not
the
want to be the
lowest
captain on
paid
that
person
boat.
on the
I
boat.
want a model slave.
You would be the lowest paid person on the boat.
No. If you you're gonna get so sexual. No, you will be captain. I am sexually harassed. That will be like.
No, I
Yeah,
will
this
sexually
is
harass
what happened.
everyone.
You hit international waters, the flag comes down, then there's no loss.
Oh, what
No.
is
Then
this
you're
like?
in trouble.
Are we back in like the superstition days, or it's bad luck to
No.
get on boats with women?
No, I'm
Well,
sorry.
It's always bad luck to get on boats with
If
women.
you
No,
have-
what I'm saying,
you have that much
if you're a
money-
ship under colors, if you're a
Yeah.
ship that is not under colors in international water, anything you do there is technically not against the law.
Mm,
So
yeah.
just something to consider.
I will have male model slaves.
If
I
it's
want
your
to.
if it's your yacht,
Yeah,
Okay,
but if you're the
I'll
captain,
get a
it's not your yacht.
No,
Fucking
so then
those
I'll
rich
get the
people don't know how
yacht.
to drive a fucking yacht. You don't know what a yacht is. You're
You
thinking
don't
of like
bother.
a boat.
You get a yacht,
You're
but you
thinking of
don't
like a
bother learning to
pansy-ass little
drive it.
boat.
What
it's
kind
not
of
that they don't know
dumbass are
how;
you?
it's that they don't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah, because Trump
Why would
flies
you
his own
want to?
helicopter, right?
Yeah.
Why the
Fucking
fuck
totally
not?
makes sense,
That would
Ziggy.
be awesome.
Totally
Why would
makes
you
sense.
I would
ever want to
totally
drive
want to
that
fly
yacht?
the
Uh,
helicopter if I'm in it.
Because
See,
you
I
have
like
a
having control. I don't want
that drives
someone
your
else.
fucking 100-foot yacht
fuck's
is
sake.
way
That's why I don't
cooler
like
than driving
flying.
it
How
It's
yourself.
can
like
you-
having a
wait.
fucking water mansion. You don't want to steer a water mansion. You don't want to
Wait.
be
I actually hate
responsible
the
for a
ocean and
water
would
How
never
mansion.
can
go
you
out there.
wait? How can you drive when you're drunk and getting a blowjob at the same
No
time?
shit,
I'll
Ziggy.
drive to
I'm
a
gonna-
nice
I'm gonna
place.
be a-
I'll
I'm
park
gonna be
it,
a
and then I'll get
terrible-
drunk and
Ziggy,
get
terrible.
blowjobs.
You don't
Terrible
understand
shipping
what it's
hazard.
like to be rich, right? So when they're
No.
like, "Oh, my chauffeur's pulling around the town car," the other guy's like, "My chauffeur's landing the helicopter."
Okay, I
Right?
would
Not,
like
I have to go
transportation
put
so
my
that I
pilot suit on and my fucking helmet and submit a flight plan so I, can
don't.
fly
I don't want to
myself.
fucking
That's for
Mustang
poor
so
people.
someone can drive me around in it. I want to drive that shit.
That's
and if
for
I have a
poor rich people.
helicopter, I want to
That's
drive
for
it.
millionaires. We're talking
I like
billionaire
having
status.
control.
Quit
I
being
don't
a
want.
poor 1%er.
Yep.
Broke ass 1%.
Yep.
I'm sorry if
So
I'm
say-
being
that's
an
what you're saying.
elitist wrong.
Exactly.
No, this
You
is-
are.
Doing it wrong.
Yeah, this is very. You're being very bourgeois. You need to go up to the next level where you have a top
Exactly.
hat and a monocle.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. You also have to grow a very florid white mustache and put on about 200 pounds.
A mustache.
And then just
And magically turn into a white male.
and then
Exactly.
You
Now
gotta,
you're
well,
getting it.
naturally.
No, there's a lot of
and then-
Middle
I just need
Easterns.
to morph.
And then you have to practice this expression and just try this after me. Harumph, harumph, harumph,
Harumph.
harumph. There you go. So you do that, and then you harumph people.
I see.
And
I
then say
see.
quite a lot.
Well, mostly harumph.
Quite.
And chap. Chap is also a good word.
No one says. I refuse to believe there's people on this planet who actually use the word
Yeah,
jab.
but you
Oh.
refuse to believe that people still high
And
five.
and minorities, no matter how old they are, you have to call them boy.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Well, anyone under 50, you call boy.
Yeah.
That's a bit
Okay.
racist, isn't it?
Even if you're 30, you still have to have the white mustache.
Yep.
And you still have to call
No,
all
you
minorities under 50
you
boy.
shot out of your mother's vagina, red and screaming, with that fucking top hat on.
It's the only way to be a true elitist.
The
Yep.
surgeon, the doctor implanted that hat.
Yeah.
Right? This is why most of those rich people are not like fans of Trump. Like they're not really friends with him. But it's kind of like the Southern Belles Club that they have. You know, the Southern girls. They have their little social clubs. Right? There's always the girls that they don't like. There's like the outcasts.
I
but they're
got a
still
better
part of the group.
analogy. I got a better analogy.
Trump is still a billionaire, so he's like still a part of the group, but they don't really like him.
Have you seen the Bill Murray movie Caddyshack?
No.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Everyone's seen Caddyshack.
Well, she hasn't. That's why I asked.
She has. She has.
I actually am not a fan of Bill Murray.
How did you get into Canada? Oh, you were born there, weren't you? No, you were born in
No,
Iran. Yeah. How did you get into Canada? Don't they like stream that at the fucking immigration office? If you don't laugh, you have to turn around and get the fuck out.
I was a baby when I came, and then no one exposed me to the Canadian ways. Although
Bill
my
Murray?
sister did introduce me to
Although
Rocky.
she did like Groundhog Day.
I loved Groundhog Day. I thought that was
That's
a brilliant movie.
Literally Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
so
I just don't like Bill Murray.
okay,
I cannot
fine.
like people as persons.
Whatever. So so Caddyshack is on one level, it's a story about this country club called Bushwood that and there's this character, I forget what his name is, but he's played by Rodney Dangerfield, who he's really rich, but he is a very crass, crude, and classless person.
Okay.
He's Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, Trump is too low class for rich people. That's the thing.
He's not actually, though. His family pedigree is actually better than most people that would disparage him. So he actually has like the blood. But the thing that was funny in Caddyshack was that they had this very pretentious membership. They're like, oh, there's Bushwood, it's a very pretentious club, and so this guy comes in who's like landing in his private helicopter. And they give him no respect because that's a line from Rodney Dangerfield. Blah 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 blah. I get no respect.
She probably doesn't even know who he is.
Yeah, probably not. And so this is just between me and you, Triggered. And no, I mean it's not my fault. I have to show you too many things to bring it to date, Siggy. So
and you have to stop playing the game for that.
No, I think I'm actually.
I feel like you guys
I can do
start
both.
giving me homework. Like I'm just gonna get
literally
weekly homework.
Literally watch Caddyshack. It's amazing. You can't tell me you dislike Bill Murray without watching Caddyshack. It means you don't know what you're talking about.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, but the I mean, there's he kills squirrels with plastic explosives. It's good.
That's awful. Squirrels are so cute. Can't you kill rats?
Well, they're groundhogs,
Kill the
I guess,
ugly
technically.
animals.
Yeah, it's groundhogs.
Yeah, but the
gophers. It's gophers.
Gophers. At the end of the movie, the Rodney Dangerfield character actually buys Bushwood. So they have to give him membership because he owns it. Yeah. He owns the club. And the guy is the main antagonist who is just absolutely beside himself with the whole thing. Basically, just like passes out on the spot, and it was it was the hurrah moment of the movie.
Yeah,
but,
fuck you.
I'll watch it. Yeah. But yeah, see, like Trump, which is interesting. His kids have a lot of class, and they act like rich people. Mm-hmm. But like,
because they were raised rich people.
Yeah. So like, it's people who are poor and then come into money.
Hold on.
And they start flashing their money.
No, you don't know Trump.
Trump was rich too.
Right, but he acts
they were
no. Siggy, you're very much mistaken. Trump's public image that he's been a fucking reality television star for a better part of a decade, and you're confusing that with him behind closed doors.
Oh, so you think he's like some super genius behind?
No, I don't think he's some super genius. I think that he's got what it takes to be a high-end billionaire.
Wait a minute.
No, I just
all the major politicians.
Oh my God!
You know what? For your stupid
book
club, elitists don't flash their money. Like that's low class. Like people who wear brand names and say like, oh, I bought this at Marc Jacobs and Chanel. Like that's low class. Like you don't.
It depends.
Put it in people's faces. Like it's supposed to be. It's using big fancy words and reading like literature. Like that's elitism now. Like being educated.
No, that's only a certain culture that does that.
What?
No, not necessarily.
What?
No, not necessarily. That's just a particular culture. It's part of. Look, here's the thing.
It's like New York elitism, at least.
Well, yeah, but that's where he comes out of.
That's true.
No, you got to understand with him is, and I recommended repeatedly that you guys read The Art of the Deal.
No, we will. We're going to do that.
No, you're going to read Dinosaur Erotica. I understand.
We're going to read Dinosaur. That's Loki's pick. Take that up with him. He wants.
You're not going to read any Sal Alinsky. You're not going to read The Art of the Deal. You're not going to read.
We're going to read Art of the Deal
to Catalonia. You're not going to read anything. It's just going to be a load of shit. And it's making me sad.
Well, I want to
Yeah.
read Art of the Deal. We're gonna read
Yeah.
Art of the
Well,
Deal.
Wait.
One of the thing-
Will, how do
one
you
of the
feel
things-
about Lolita coming up this Sunday?
No,
No, just no.
I'm with
No.
him.
no.
you and everyone else.
It's a
apparently.
classic. I don't
Ugh.
understand.
A classic hunk of shit.
Okay, so then
It
we'll talk
is-
about how it's
It fetishizes and glorifies pedophilia.
But
So-
it kind of doesn't because it seems
Mm.
so arbitrary. Like it doesn't see if. Anyways, I'll save it for Sunday. On my qualms with the book.
Sure.
Um,
Here's a question for you, Ziggy. How many pedophiles like the book Lolita, in your opinion?
I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I haven't seen the evidence of that yet.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sure
we'll
they
get a
might.
statistical study on that one. I guess is what
Well,
you're
if you
gonna
can
ask.
pull up the stats for that, I'd love to see.
Yeah. No, that's not the thing. Point. It's like you read something like that, and you ask yourself how the different demographics are going to perceive it, right? So look at, say, gangster rap, right? That is perceived very differently by different demographics. Some demographics see it as empowering, and some of them see it as sort of a tragic fascination with self-destructive behavior, right? And so when you look at Lolita, you may not see it as something that aggrandizes it, but I think if you
I don't think it
put
does
yourself in
though.
the
I think
head
at
of
all
a
it
pedophile.
doesn't. It actually shows like a miserable life of obsession and suffering and pain and like
Like
I don't
Love is hard. Love is hard.
that's
Love is
being
hard.
that's being like
Love is hard.
That's
don't-
like a lot of books
Yeah, it's a
that
lot of
are
love
not about
books.
child
different. It's-
raping.
Yeah.
Right, but like that's okay. But I'm interested
Romeo
in
and
a
Juliet.
psychological perspective of like to understand how someone
But
thinks like that and why they would.
that only applies if you know the author is a pedophile.
But that's the thing. I don't think that. I think this is a book about someone thinking what a pedophile would think, rather
So
than.
then psychologically, how does that help you at all?
Well, then that's a whole different layer of like how people perceive pedophiles and how they think that they
Well,
would.
are you a pedophile?
No, so
Then
that's
you can
why I'm
literally sit there and do
interested
that
in
yourself.
understanding why. No, because I have no idea how a pedophile would think. So
Right.
I would
Either
like
does
to.
anyone else who's not a pedophile.
Guys, we need to get a pedophile on the show on Sunday.
No, this is
Pass.
stupid.
Hard
Because
pass.
pedophiles are still
No.
people. All you got to do is put yourself in the head of somebody who really, really wants to bang 12-year-olds.
And it seems like a
that
torturous
was cool.
place to be from how
Yeah,
what I've read
I know.
so far.
Fine. And
Only
let's do
because
this.
it's illegal. If it wasn't illegal, he would fucking
But-
have a field day with it.
But imagine being tortured. Okay, so when something tortures you like that, I mean, you've had experience with a lot of like things that work you over, and eventually it bends your personality, doesn't it? Right, over time.
I mean, it seems more just of an obsession, if anything.
Like sex.
But this with again, like, so are people like that? Do they become obsessed with just this idea of someone
you ever
becoming
been
obsessed
13?
with any one
Oh
individual?
my God! Were you
Okay,
ever a
see,
teenager?
do you not
Do
know
you
what
know
you're
how many
saying right
times
now?
I jerked off in a day when I was a teenager?
7,
was obs-
8.
Yeah, exactly. It was
Right,
ridiculous.
but like, were you obsessed with one individual? Where like they
Occasionally,
consumed your
although
entire existence?
When you find a new porn star that you really like, sometimes for like
yeah.
a week or so.
mostly it was an enormous number of hormones. But the thing is that you're just emotionally all over the fucking place with it, right? Because you're not mature, and your body has just gotten like basically
Okay, but
weapons
again,
grade
like,
levels
teenagers
of
are different than
sexual
adults.
hormones dumped on your
Okay,
body.
Okay,
Anyways,
guys.
we'll save it for
Let's
the-
save this for
Just-
Sunday. Will, you're more than welcome to come on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Okay.
It will be during the day. I think Trigger wants to have it a little bit later.
Yeah,
Okay.
4 your time, East
For our
Coast.
time.
So
okay.
like, what is that?
Well,
1
then
your
Lady
time,
Bastard
Will?
can't come because
Huh? I'm West Coast.
Yeah,
reason
so it's
we
like
do
1
it-
o'clock your time.
Oh, I don't care.
But the
whatever.
reason we did
Will
it at
doesn't
2
sleep.
is because Lady Bastard, it'll be like 12 for her if we do it at 4.
Okay,
Mhm.
Okay, we'll have to work it out.
that's
We'll
fine. I
have
just
to
won't be
work
there.
it
No, that's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. Fuck that book.
Okay, we'll I guess sort this out
Yeah, we'll
sometime
sort this out.
soon.
Okay.
I'll just distance myself so I'm not associated with your pro-pedophilia fucking live
It's
stream.
why is it pro pedophilia? I don't understand. I'm like already criticizing it in so many ways.
Because
By
Guys,
it
saying it's
doesn't.
interesting and you like the book and it's a classic.
Because the book doesn't
I didn't
open
say-
up with him getting acid thrown in his face and thrown off a roof.
Pretty
He's
much,
in-
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
That's why it's a bad book. Because the first like fucking chapter
This is
deep description of how he desires prepubescent kids.
Yeah.
right, and there's
That's
people
why.
in the world that do, and they exist,
Yes,
and
and
not
they're
all of
horrible
them are
fucking
jail.
human beings,
And they get
should be
acid
chemically
thrown in the face and
castrated.
thrown
No,
off
they
the roof.
don't.
Exactly.
No,
They
do.
should. They should.
They
No,
should, but sometimes we don't know who they are, and
In
understanding how
ISIS's
they think and why
Iraq, they absolutely get acid
It's
thrown in
not
their face.
if
and they get
unless
thrown
the
off
author's a
off the roof.
pedophile, it's not understanding how they think. I don't see how that's. It's like I can't tell you what it's like inside the head of a schizophrenic because I'm not schizophrenic. So unless the author is a pedophile, it's not giving you any insight into the mind of a pedophile.
Okay, so then we have to establish that. Then if
Well,
it's not a real pedophile, then what's the problem with reading the book?
Okay, so dinosaur
The
erotica.
character
Dinosaur
in the
erotica.
book.
Can we do dinosaur erotica?
The character in the book is a pedophile. You're saying it's looking into the mind of a pedophile, but that's only if the author, the person who created the character, is a pedophile.
Well,
So
I don't
if,
think you
if
necessarily
someone
have to be
writes
something to look
about
in
a
the mind of
wizard,
something.
they have to be a wizard, or they can't
Yeah.
ever say like what a wizard would be like.
You remember
No,
how
Or
You're,
they
Jack
wanna
you're
be
not
Nicholson-
going to.
ridiculous.
Fuck, are you serious? No, a book about a wizard is not going to give you insight into what it's like inside the mind of a wizard.
Wait a
because
minute.
a fucking wizard isn't real. The
Remember
author
how
isn't a wizard.
Jack Nicholson said he wrote the characters of women in As Good as It Gets?
Did he?
Yeah. So he plays an author, and this woman comes up to him in the elevator and says, "I love your books. How do you write women so well?" And he says, "I think of a man, and I remove reason and accountability." and then the elevator door closes, and he smiles. Jack Nicholson.
Perfect. And on that note, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, but I just don't know how a book from '95 is a classic anyway, or whatever, or fucking not. Or when was it? Like it was fucking 1960. Sorry, not
About
90. 1965, not 95.
the book club selection this week for this week.
Fuck that book.
I think anyone's happy about it. Will, you're welcome to come back on anytime.
We
Oh,
we
thank you.
will do the art of the deal. That is
Yeah.
the plan.
It'll be huge,
It'll be huge.
It'll be tremendous.
Huge.
It'll be tremendous.
bigly.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us.